Are we ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
We'll start off with 138.
I should have turned it up to 2 more nights.
Right.
No, bro. What's day 6?
We live.
Yes, we live. We are?
We live right now.
You live?
We all live.
Okay, I'm ready.
You ain't talking? We will.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, family.
Shabbat shalom to the worldwide family. Peaceful Sabbath, y'all, as we get about our Abba's business, y'all, for more understanding and truth and righteousness. Y'all, as we prepare ourselves for that prepared kingdom that's about to hit this earth. So y'all, with that, we're going to get this prayer on. And we'll give all praise and glory to the Heavenly Father and the only begotten Son of the Father, our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach.
Yes, sir.
Locally known as
Jesus the Christ.
Jesus the Christ.
All right, family. We're going to get this opening prayer with the Most High's permission. And in the name of his only begotten Son, our Lord and Savior, Yahushua Mashiach. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 138th chapter, it reads, I will praise thee with my whole heart. Before the gods will I sing praise unto thee. I will worship toward thy holy temple and praise thy name for thy loving kindness and for thy truth. For thou hast magnified thy word above all thy name. In the day when I cried, thou answeredest me, and strengthenest me with strength in my soul. All the kings of the earth shall praise thee, O Yahweh, when they hear the words of thy mouth. Yea, they shall sing in the ways of the Most High, for great is the glory of the Master. Though the Most High be high, yet he hath respect unto the lowly, but the proud he knoweth afar off. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, thou wilt revive me. Thou shalt stretch forth thine hand against the wrath of mine enemies, and thy right hand shall save me. Yahweh will perfect that which concerneth me. Thy mercy, O Yahweh, endureth forever. Forsake not the works of thine own hands. Hallelujah! Say that!
Yes, sir.
Y'all.
What's up, man?
That yes. There you go. I'll keep up with you.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all. Shabbat shalom again to the family, worldwide family. Peaceful Sabbath today. Hope all is well, y'all. We're still sending prayers up for our sick and our mourning family who's mourning the death of loved ones. We're still praying, y'all, sending prayers up for Sister Weezy that she's being comforted in this hour, y'all, because she's getting to the darkest part of her hour, and that's her goodbye.
Right, exactly.
Her last goodbye, so to speak, y'all. But we got hope in the resurrection.
That's right.
Also, y'all, one of our sisters, Sister Joyce, she's had a rough time as well. She just lost her brother. Prior to that, sister and daughter, son last year, y'all. So Y'all, joy cometh in the morning, though.
That's right.
So y'all, today's lesson, y'all, what we want to do is get into what's called spiritually fully persuaded. See, you can be persuaded in your mind in the flesh, but you have to be fully persuaded in the spirit, so that when the devil come to you in your dreams, you don't back down. When you're fully persuaded in your dream, you will actually know what's taking place. And you'll be able to fight in your dreams as well as you can fight in the flesh. Yo, because that's where the war lies. That's what controlling. That's say you can tell by a man's countenance if he's had a bad night. You can look and you can keep looking at them and they staring off his face. You say, what's wrong? They're going to tell you, that dream I had, it was so real. Well, man, it ain't nothing but a dream. No, it's more than that, because I wouldn't be concerned like I am. That lets you know you need to go talk to the Most High. You need to go in your closet. If it's on your soul like that, if it's on your conscience. So, y'all, we want to be spiritually persuaded, fully persuaded, not partial, but fully. And, y'all, based on this class, I got Brother Ock James. He's out of the Maryland area, Baltimore area. And we was chopping it up a little bit yesterday, a little bit this morning, and it was concerning a topic, well, not a topic, but something I may have stated, because I'll state some things to get some wheels turning.
Right.
So I kind of mentioned, you know, when the Genesis 1:29 came up, we mentioned every seed-bearing herb. So I mentioned, y'all, should we take a second look at seaweed or sea moss? But we got a lot of herbalists out there. I'm talking about herbalists that helps the people, not opportunity off the people. I'm talking about help the people. And I'm not an herbalist. So, but everybody must play by the law, even the herbalists. Everybody has to play by teaching, reading, whatever we do for the Most High has to be according to the rules. So I'm not going to get into an area that I'm not or have not been practicing daily on, but I have to make sure, or we have to make sure, just like if you go to the doctor and he try to prescribe a medicine for you, you have to know if your body is ready to accept what he's offering you, because all medicine don't work for everybody. Drinking is legal, but some people can't drink. One drink sent them over the edge, and I'm talking about after 3 sips of a beer, everybody get cursed out in the house. 3 sips of a beer, what does that mean? That means they can't drink. Alcohol is dangerous for that individual. It don't mean it's dangerous for me. It don't mean it's dangerous for this brother or that brother, or that sister or this sister. What it means is you personally have to opt out of that decision about that, or you're going to be opted out of being around anybody, because ain't nobody else going to want you around as soon as you get like that. He okay long as he don't do what?
Drink.
See, and that's the problem. Then that means either we tell you can't come because we can't govern you when we got other things to do. How are we going to govern your behavior? You're not a child, you know what I mean? We got to watch you and put watches on you. That's what you do for children, ain't you? Either that, or we got to put a wine or beer monitor on you, just like you do children, so you can hear what's happening in the other room.
And we've had brothers like that.
Hey, look here. So, y'all, from that perspective, because I made that, what you guys said?
I said, yeah, my family like that.
Okay. So we all know it's nothing new. So the topics today concerning this, y'all, we're going to go over a few things, not just the herb. We're going to hit a few topics that, and what I'm talking about is, they appear to be topics where we say, when in doubt, do without. If there's a question about a certain meat, there's 20 other different meats that you can eat. Don't fight about this one. It ain't stopping you from eating meat. If this one right here, you say, well, I'll dig deeper. I have to feel comfortable in my own soul that this is right for me. And when I get fully comfortable, then I'll either pick it up or I won't have it back in my life at all. One of the two, but the law is going to govern the decision of the mind. But everybody going to be a little bit different. So y'all know how we get down, y'all. We run a little bit behind and just want to hit these scriptures pretty quickly. So, but we have to, because it's a part of teaching. Anybody got anything on their mind, heart, and soul that's troubling them. If we can point you to a class, we will. If it's something we can give you a couple scriptures really quickly, we will. But if not, we'll go ahead and get on with the lesson. Any questions or concerns out there? Anything, y'all, that's on your heart, mind, or soul, this is what's called Bible study. And any class you go to, you should be able to do this no matter when the class is taking place.
I got a question real quick.
Okay.
Brother Floyd Hill asked, would you please explain the 144,000 that you mentioned last week?
Well, the 144,000 mentioned in Revelation 7, Revelation 14 chapter. It says they're from every tribe except the tribe of Dan. Dan did some wicked things, y'all, that may have eliminated them from being part of the 144,000, which means all male virgins of the tribes, all male virgins. And there's no guile found in their mouth. What's up, Mike? Shalom. There's no guile. That means there's no deception in their mouth. Don't know what happened to Dan, but you can read in Judges 18th and 19th chapter, you're going to see some things about Dan, that where Dan went off. But whatever it was not a permanent curse. It did not delete Dan's name from being on the wall of the new temple in Revelation 21. Also Ezekiel 48, Dan's name is there for the lots being passed out, because Dan has children that wasn't into all of the Belial worship that Dan was into. So we have to understand that tribe must have crossed the line as far as being part of the 144,000. And the 144,000 are not, that's the only crew, because when you get further down, then it says, I saw another number, which no man could number, out of every nation, kindred, and tongue. So y'all, we have to understand that there are other groups out here that fit into that number, but Israel first, it starts always at home. So we're dealing with the 144,000. It said they were removed from the earth. And like they come from outer space, so it could be any brother, like you say, that, like Nathaniel.
They gonna sing a song that nobody other than those 144,000 gonna know.
Know that song, absolutely.
They gonna know that song, but you ain't gonna know it.
Absolutely.
You gonna hear it and understand it, but you can't sing that song.
Right.
You got another question on it.
Okay, but let me just hit on that last part. What Zed was saying, that 144 knowing the song, and the Father's seal is already in their forehead. So these are a group, y'all, a group that was already, the Messiah picked them out of the earth, because he already told us, I got 7,000 men ain't never bowed the knee to Baal. That means when it's saying they're male virgins, they have never tampered with a whore doctrine. You understand what I'm saying? Because this on a spiritual level. They've never tampered with a whore doctrine. The whore that sitteth upon many waters. Every religion on earth today stems now from the Roman Catholic Church. Y'all have to understand what it means. It's called the Roman Catholic Church. When you look up the word Catholic, it means universal. So the world church and Muslim doctrine came from that through a papal bull of Pope back in this day started the Muslim doctrine. So all of us been out here, the Protestant protested what the Catholics doing. That's how they got started. But where they root at? Who they come from? See, it's just like that rotten tree out in the West. It got 6 rotten trees that fell off from it. All of it still stemming back to the same root of rottenness. And that's teaching that the Messiah is a blemished lamb.
Right.
I don't care how you splinter off from it. If you still teaching that, you still part of that root, and you keep rooting up in dry ground.
Yes, there will be guile in your mouth. Huh?
Yeah, that's guile. It's deception.
And they say ain't no guile in 144.
No, ain't zero guile.
No, they are without fault.
See, that's what we need to understand. Don't mean that they may have not sinned, because all have fallen short of the glory. But what we're saying, without fault, they don't do things to where you can point back, man, you knew that was wrong when you did that. My bad. Ain't no my bads with these. It's like when he said, Nathaniel, an Israelite indeed, no guile is in his mouth. That don't mean he didn't sin, but he don't trick people. Did he may have done something on the Sabbath or something that he had to repent for? Yes, but what we're talking about is to trick people. this trickery and this pimp game that's going on. That's the guile it's talking about. If you got to trick somebody to believe this truth, shame on you. You don't have to trick nobody. Either they gonna believe it or they ain't, right?
That's right.
What's the next question, y'all? Cause we gotta roll. But hope you get that. Check out, bro, Revelation 7, Revelation 14. It'll get clear to you. Go ahead and then read Revelation 6 and 9. What else we got?
Ezekiel 31.
Malak, yeah, says Ezekiel 31, is that talking about Satan?
Well, it's talking about anybody compared to trees. You know, it's the study so you get back in the garden and understand that when it said the tree of life, which was Messiah, and the tree of good and evil, it's telling you how trees are compared to men. So it's taking it's just a comparison. It's taking a cedar tree, which is one of the tallest trees, and it may compare that to Pharaoh, so that it's something tangible that you can look at and see how great his power was compared to how great this tree is. And it has this bowl, so birds fly up on it, they wing on it, they build nests on it. It's this powerful. So it wants you to look at it like that. But Isaiah 14 chapter deals with that abominable branch. And it lets loose the children of pride descend from that abominable branch. That's totally different, but Ezekiel 31 dealing with all trees compared to great kings. And the trees of the garden, and it sees things like that are compared to you, but they're not a basic living tree that you walk up to a tree like outside and you think that that's what it's talking about. I hope it ain't getting that literal. But did that answer that, bro? Ezekiel 31?
I would have to say.
And also it hit Matthew 12, Matthew 7, and it'll all tell you a tree, a evil tree cannot bring forth good fruit.
Right.
It cannot, because it's in the root.
He said thank you.
Yes, sir. So y'all, with this, we're going to go ahead and get started. Spiritual, fully persuaded. So first, y'all, everything, because we're under the order of the priesthood of Melchizedek, y'all. So we start off each class naming the rules of why we study this way. See, that way we don't have to worry about nobody getting on board with 5. It's just like dominoes. If it's 15 to get on board, 10 thereafter, then it's the same way with this. We got to get on board with the law after the order of the Melchizedek priesthood, because that's where we at. Or Christ was crucified in vain.
You know, one other thing I forgot. Yeah, happy soul day, Judah Black. Another year, boy.
Judah Black soul day today?
Yeah. Yeah.
He finally older than me.
Judah Black, I must have done really forgot that, because I guess we was in Vegas around that time. Because mine a week later if I live.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Happy soul day, Judah Black.
There you go.
Where we at? So the law or order of Melchizedek, and y'all know Melchizedek moves from Aaron, so every soul is accountable. So that's male, female, rich, poor, free or bond, Jew or Gentile. Everything we talk about the law has to cover every one of those aspects. You can't talk about the law and just make it for men only, or for the rich only, or for the poor only, or this is only for the Jew only. That's not what the script says. After the order of Melchizedek, everybody's on the line. There's neither Jew nor Gentile. There's neither male nor female. For you're all one in Christ. So that means everything we deal with the law, we got to make sure we touch on every one of them before they're eliminated out of the equation. You have to. Or you'll be using what's called beat up scriptures. Using them to pound on people. You know, if you use a scripture to beat up a woman, you say, if you go to all of Sirach 25 and you see a woman is wicked from birth and all, if you go through that and then you skip over, a wicked woman is given to a wicked man as a portion. If you hide that, you doing what? If you cheating, yes, sir. So y'all, we're trying not to cheat while we're in class, because it's still an open book test. And what I mean by that, we're not giving you answers. We're going to study for the answer, and then we'll take the test at the end when Messiah comes, because he's going to grade you. Just hope you ain't been copying off the wrong person's paper.
Right.
So y'all, with that understanding that, let's go to Colossians 2:16, because this is going to cover every aspect of what we're talking about, y'all. And we was mentioning that we asked about the herbs, but we're going to deal with also the horn of the Lord. What horn did we use? Was it the ram's horn or was it ones for silver? Because that's hot out in Israel now. And people, and feast days are coming up, y'all. This is why I want to have everybody saying we finna start the feast days of the year. Purim is technically the last feast day of last year, if we're looking at it from that perspective, because it's a winter feast. Passover starts the new feast year, so to speak, and we want to get that clear and make that understood. So Colossians 2:16, shalom out, and Isaiah 58, y'all. While we coming up on these feast days, shalom, bro. Watch that chair to rock. I'm gonna get that one.
All right, we'll get that one.
So you can stand.
So y'all, we want to get it clear of what we speaking of. You go over Isaiah 58 again, y'all, because let's get this understood. We got feast days coming up. If we got strife and debate about feast days, let's not do them. Ain't no need in us doing, because what you're practicing for is what's going to be done in the kingdom. If you think you're going to be fighting in the kingdom or squabbling in the kingdom, you're fooling yourself.
You're going to be getting it right.
There's a different kingdom that goes on. It's just hot.
Right.
I don't like it when it's hot.
So y'all, Colossians 2:16, and y'all read all of Isaiah 58, you know, on your own time, because it's dealing with how to deal with feast days, Sabbath days, and different things when they're connected with feasts, because Sabbath days are connected with feasts. You got a 7-day feast, sometimes you have to take the next day after working real hard as a Sabbath day.
Right.
It don't say it's the Sabbath day, it says you have to look at it as a Sabbath day. The same thing you would do on a Sabbath, you do that way. Colossians 2:16, y'all, let's get that, then we're going to go right to Romans 4:21.
Can we please start that at verse 8?
Verse 8, yes we can. And y'all, let's get some understanding, family.
All right, family, we're going to be reading in the book of Colossians, chapter 2, and we'll start our reading at verse 8.
Yes, sir.
Everybody there?
I'll be there, go ahead.
Don't even go back to the front.
Huh?
Like 5,
It's up to y'all.
4.
Yeah, I'll go back there for you. Know you're going to start at 1.
I was just about to say, we may well start at the beginning.
Okay.
You convinced me.
There you go.
All right.
The book of Colossians, chapter 2 and verse 1. Let's get some understanding, family. For I would that ye knew what great conflict I have for you, and for them at Laodicea, or Laodicea, and for as many as have not seen my face in the flesh, that their hearts might be comforted, being knit together in love.
In what?
In love.
What does it got to be, though?
Knit together.
See, it has to be knit together. It has to be part of the fabric. You know how some people put a cloth together? It's got a piece from your grandmama and all of that. That's knit together. That's the way this body has to be. Go ahead.
And unto all riches of the full assurance of understanding.
The full assurance of what?
Of understanding.
Y'all, if we don't have full assurance, that's what we're talking about, fully persuaded, of understanding what this word is about. Understanding means I can teach it. You told it to me, I can go teach it to somebody else.
Right.
I don't have to say, just look at this video. Anytime you hear somebody just say, just look at the video, that means they don't know it. You should tell me what the video consists of. Now, when you get to minute mark 2 and 37 seconds, it's going to say something that may sound like it's going to flip you, but just keep listening until you get to the 47-minute mark, and it's going to explain itself. See, that's how you turn. But if you just look at the video, that means you ain't looked at the video. You don't know the video. Go ahead.
To the acknowledgement of the mystery of Yah, and of the Father, and of Hamashiach, in whom are hid all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge.
What are them treasures?
Treasures of wisdom and knowledge. And this I say, lest any man should beguile you with enticing words.
See, now this is where the monkey wrench get thrown in.
Right.
beguile you. What does beguile means? To trick, don't it?
Exactly.
Or seduce. You with
Enticing words.
enticing words. See, the enticing part is how they get you with seducing words. Now look, man, I ain't gonna say nothing about you waiting on your Messiah to come back. 2 stacks right there, though, dog. All I need you to do is stand on that corner and sell this. But you get these 2 stacks now, and you don't have to wait on your God. You can feed your family, man. You can feed your family. Well, I'm killing that family.
Man cannot live by bread alone.
Look here.
Babies can't eat no books, B.
Baby can't eat no books, B. So that means you got to get out there and hustle ill-gotten gain. Read some more, bro. And those are the enticing words, y'all. Enticing words Satan gave Eve. God just don't want you to know you are God. We're spiritual beings.
Right.
We're light beings. We're cosmetic, flying around in outer space beings. Those are enticing words because they're talking about things where you ain't gonna be, where ain't nothing gonna be happening. Where is New Jerusalem coming to?
Down the earth.
What the hell are we worried about outer space and how much melanin we got in us? What we can't have in us is sin. Practice sin. And you ain't got to go out of space to get rid of that. You can get rid of that right here, can't you?
Yep.
Let's read some more, Zed. Aaron.
Verse 5. For though I be absent in the flesh, yet am I with you in the spirit, joying and beholding your order and the steadfastness of your faith in Hamashiach.
See, if it's not order, then what is it?
Disorder.
Disorder. See, so he's giving instruction that everything must be in order.
Right.
It has to be in order, and the only thing put things in order is rules, ain't it?
Yep. Got to establish the rules.
Go ahead, bro.
Verse 6. As ye have therefore received Hamashiach Yahushua the Master, so walk ye in him. Rooted.
What are we?
Rooted.
See, that means you're not just above the earth, you're below it because you're rooted.
In good ground.
In good ground.
That's right.
Go ahead, bro.
Rooted and built up in him, and established in the faith as ye have been taught, abounding therein with thanksgiving. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit.
What kind of deceit?
Vain deceit.
Look, worthless deceit.
Yep.
Look, it ain't worth nothing, and they done fooled you with what ain't worth nothing.
Yeah.
It's like giving you a penny with a hole in it and telling you got a jewel. It's like handing you a wet food stamp.
Uh-oh.
Right. Go ahead, bro. What you got?
After the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Hamashiach.
Once somebody tell you don't trust the Bible, those are the rudiments of the world. It's leftover doctrine trying to tell you something that's worthless the way it's being taught is good for you. Let's get some more.
Verse 9. For in him dwelleth all the fullness of the Godhead bodily, and ye are complete in him, which is the head of all principality and power, in whom also ye are circumcised with the circumcision made without hand.
Made without what?
Without hand.
So that's a heart being circumcised.
That's right.
Because a man has to circumcise you physically, even if you do yourself.
Right.
Go ahead.
In putting off the body of the sins of the flesh by the circumcision of Hamashiach.
See, the sins of the flesh, y'all. The sins of the flesh is what we have to get rid of. Because that's what make you look in the mirror and cuss your flesh out.
Right.
You done did it again. You ain't nothing. I hate you. You just make me sick. Look at that. You almost made me have an accident looking in the mirror. Well, you look in the mirror to see where you've been, not where you're going. Quit looking in the mirror and look forward. Go ahead. Where we at?
Verse 12.
What it say?
Buried with him in baptism, wherein also ye are risen with him through the faith of the operation of Yah, who hath raised him from the dead. And you, being dead in your sins and the uncircumcision of your flesh, hath he quickened together with him, having forgiven you all trespasses, blotting out the handwriting of ordinances that was against us, which was contrary to us, and took it out of the way, nailing it to his cross.
See, and a lot of the Christianity doctrine think this means we don't have to keep no more law.
Nailed
But
it to the cross.
when we started at verse 1, that's some order, ain't it?
Yep.
There's some rules. So if you ain't doing the law no more, then you need to give us them order and them rules right there. Post them. And post what happens if we don't do it right. There's got to be a punishment for disorder, wouldn't it?
Right.
Let's read some more.
Verse 15. And having spoiled principalities and powers, he made a show of them openly, triumphing over them in it. Let no man therefore judge you in meat, or in drink, or in respect of an holy day, or of the new moon, or of the Sabbath day.
That's an S on the end of that, ain't it?
Exactly.
Which
Which are a shadow of things to come, but the body is of Hamashiach.
So did he ever say you don't have to do them, or did he just say, don't let nobody judge you?
Don't let anybody judge you.
That don't mean you don't. That don't mean you can't do them. Because for somebody to judge you, that means you've done something. It just said don't let nobody judge you concerning it. It never said it went away.
Right.
Where does that say it went away?
It does.
It just say if somebody judging you, it ain't going nowhere then. It says which are shadows of things until Hamashiach come back, just to keep you in line till the chief shepherd comes. Go ahead.
Verse 18. Let no man beguile you of your reward in a voluntary humility and worshiping of angels, intruding into those things which he hath not seen, vainly puffed up by his fleshly mind.
See, it's puffed up by his fleshly mind. You know why it's puffed up by his fleshly mind? Because he done took some dope or some, maybe it took mugworth. And go into outer faith. That's what got your mind puffed up. Basically, you open that spiritual eye up by cheating, so to speak. Taking peyote, PCP, but you should let the Holy Spirit come in and open it up, and then it'll be pure.
There you go.
It'll be direct. Sometimes you can go on what's called a bad trip. Holy Spirit ain't gonna never take you on a bad trip. Where we at?
Verse 19. And not holding the head, from which all the body by joints and bands having nourishment ministered, and knit together, increaseth with the increase of Yah.
Yes, sir. So basically it's telling you, you get your head right, everything else will fall into place. You get your mind right. See, you got to gird the loins of your mind before you try to gird the loins down beneath.
But if you trip off of that head is capitalized.
Yes, sir. Letting you know at the beginning. So when it filters downhill, everything the way it filtered down, Father, Messiah, man, woman, child. From that perspective, everything will flow like it should. You can hold up, bro. Let's get right to Romans 4:21, and this gonna set it up. You know, where we going? We're gonna just touch on 1 Timothy 4, and then we're gonna get right into certain topics. Like I say, y'all, we're gonna deal with corn, duck, horn, ram's horn, or the one that was made out of silver. Which one should we be using, y'all? And the reason we went to Colossians is because people are judging us with these feast days coming up. And that means you're going to go, if you're not fully persuaded, you will go into a feast day ready for debate and strife.
Right.
You have to be fully persuaded what we are doing is on the level. Now, it ain't like you can be reproof, but it should be no debate and strife. Right. We had one boy come, was mad because he couldn't get in. He used to always come after he thought the crowd would come in and slide in on us. When the sliding stopped, when we had a door for the sliders, he got mad and said, well, y'all got corn in there anyway. I don't want to be in there anyway. But you was here.
Right.
If you hadn't got out, you wouldn't have cared nothing about that corn.
You got corns in your shoes.
Yeah, look. So, y'all, we have to prevent that if somebody just buddying around us, you know, just to join up. And when you don't let the buddying go on, they lash out at you. So, y'all, we want to get that clear. We're of the brotherhood. Not buddyhooding.
Right.
Brotherhooding. That includes the sisterhooding.
Shabbat shalom, family.
Shabbat shalom, Reball.
Y'all good, Reball?
Y'all good? Okay. All right, let's get it, y'all. Where we at?
We're in the book of Romans, chapter 4 and verse 21.
What it say, bro? Y'all need to back it up.
Everybody there?
Verse 21.
Yeah, verse 21, Romans 4.
I tell you what, before you read that, just read verse 15 and then jump down, because it's something very important there. 15, just read verse 15, then we'll jump down to where we're going.
Shabbat Shalom, Ariah.
Come on, bro.
The book of Romans, chapter 4 and verse 15. And it reads, because the law worketh wrath, for where no law is, there is no transgression.
So if anybody telling you that the law is done away with or is gone, then there's no sin in the earth.
Right.
So how would you let somebody judge you or somebody that's claiming they saved in that doctrine? We ain't under the law no more. He nailed that to the cross. Then from your perspective, ain't no sin. It cannot be sin. So why you concerned with me going to church? If it ain't no law, if he nailed that to the cross, then I'm free to do what I want to do.
Right.
All I got to say is I believe in Lord Jesus and I'm good and I can go back to my old man self.
They're trying to beguile you.
They're trying to do what then? Yes, sir. Go on, jump on down to...
verse 21.
Yes, sir. You start at verse 19.
Verse 19.
Yes, sir.
And being not weak in faith, he considered not his own body now dead, when he was about 100 years old, neither yet the deadness of Sarah's womb.
The what of Sarah's womb?
The deadness of Sarah's womb.
So y'all, we're talking about the mighty Abraham. When he considered his own body now what? Dead. That means the testosterone level was at a low.
Right.
The count he was moved into physical age vasectomy, so to speak. He couldn't reproduce and she couldn't eat.
The boys ain't swimming.
The boys ain't swimming? Go ahead, what you saying, bro? Go ahead.
You got a thing there. Ariana, she said, well, I bought a ticket. Now I don't feel comfortable going to Passover because I don't want to feel like the outsider or a buddy.
What does that mean?
Sister Eve, you with us. I got all your information. I sent it to you. Don't worry about that, Eve. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is if you understand what we're teaching, you know, we teach from a certain cup. What we're doing is just trying to make sure you don't drink from two different cups. We don't mix Hennessy and Grey Goose if we're just looking at it from that perspective. And that what I mean is being fully persuaded or the vain deceit of people. We're just clearing that up so that when you come to the feast day, you can expect the type of love that the remnant has and that we're teaching from. So you're in no way error, shape, or form of not coming unless you're not understanding what we're saying. And if that's the case,
You with us.
right. So I you know, if you need be, just shoot another question out there if we're not clear on what you're saying. But we'll continue on. But all we're doing is getting you prepared that if you come to St. Louis and somebody asks you, girl, where you going? We're going to St. Louis. Girl, if I was you, I wouldn't go to St. Louis. You know they crazy in St. Louis.
They crazy.
They say Nelly fight now. So whatever they do to keep you from coming from St. Louis and you stop, then you're not fully persuaded in what we're talking about.
You've been beguiled.
You're right. We want you to understand when you're getting on the highway, you know what you're coming for. You're fully persuaded in your own mind that you will not expect or see anything different. And like I said, it ain't like we don't have a practice out there. We got Passovers online now. All the way back from 2010 up to now, the Passover celebrations online. So if you have any concern about what we do, just view the whole thing.
But yeah,
If that's the question she's asking.
and it's not even a question, it's actually a statement, but never, sis, we one body. Don't feel like an outsider or a buddier, because it's not like you just buddying along, hanging out. You asking questions and you trying to get some understanding. And that's what this whole deal is. It says with all you're getting, get ye understanding.
Yes, sir.
So if it's something that you're having an issue with or you're struggling with, it's our job to help bring you along and bring you up to speed where you feel comfortable explaining it to the next somebody.
Boy,
that's what he's saying.
That's 100.
Instead of saying, go look at the tape because you can't explain it, we want you to be able to explain it. So whatever it takes, That's what we're here for. We're here for that one sheep that strayed off, not the 99 that's still in formation.
That's right.
So whatever you need, that's what we're here to do. We're here to fill in that void and pick up the slack and get our sister Eve right on along with us.
That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about, y'all.
That's all I can say.
When you walk in unity with the Most High and His only begotten Son, even if you don't know the script, He'll give you the words to tell that person.
That's right.
And y'all understand this too, and when we talk about, because we get into lost books, when I say Roman Catholic Church, notice I put the word Roman in there. Roman Universal Church.
Oh yeah.
The Roman Universal Church, but you'll read in the Apocrypha, too, by what I said, there's the second Ezra, wherever it talks about, or maybe in lost books.
That's in the Apostles' Creed.
In the Apostles' Creed, it mentions the Catholic Church, the Holy Catholic Church. Now some say, I don't read that right there, it says the Catholic Church. Catholic just means universal. Christ taught about a universal church, the whole world. It's not Roman Catholic. It's Israelite Covenant Catholic Church. It's a universal church. It's the four corners of the earth, ain't it? Is that universal or no? Does it include the heavens? That's universal, ain't it? It's not Roman Catholic universe, but anybody out there right now, all y'all look up the word Catholic and tell me what it say and put it in the post if you think we going left field. That book don't have the word Roman in front of it. They put Roman in front of it to let you know who's in charge of it. This is Esau's universal church because we're the descendants of the Romans. It's a total difference. It's flipped the script on us, and then we get to pick out of its universal the whore that sitteth upon many waters, because it's a mirror image of Christ's church, so to speak. He's masquerading as an angel of light. Let's get some more, y'all. We gotta get caught up.
Back in the book of Romans.
Yes, sir.
Chapter 4, and we're at verse 20.
What it say?
He staggered not at the promise of Yah through unbelief, but was strong in faith, giving glory to Yah, and being fully persuaded that when he had promised, he was able also to perform. And therefore it was imputed to him for righteousness. Now it was not written for his sake alone that it was imputed to him, but for us also.
But for who also?
But for us also.
Right.
To whom it shall be imputed, if we believe on him that raised up Yeshua, our master, from the dead, who was delivered for our offenses and was raised again for our justification.
So y'all, this is where we're coming from. You have to believe that the Father sent him. It ain't just believing on Messiah. You have to believe who sent him.
That's right.
If you don't, we're going to start to get these new doctrines just creeping in the Book of Mormons, saying it's an addition. If you get your mind right, you'll understand it. Well, don't you know the Muslims teach that too? Don't you understand that they saying the Quran is an extension of the Bible?
Right.
Says who?
Right.
Says where? In this Bible that it says, I will send the extension. I will send the Quran. I will send the Latter-day Saints, and thou shalt study diligently from them. Where you reading that at? Without reading the rest of what those books have to say about our Messiah. Every one of them books say, yo, you talking about the blemished lamb, are you? Let's get right to 1 Tim 4. 1 Tim 4, yes sir. And y'all, what we're doing, did we finish that or where we go? 4, yeah, we got it, okay. And what we wanted was fully persuaded. That's what we wanted in verse 4. You have to be fully persuaded up here, you know. See, and when you're fully persuaded, people know where you practice at, where you study at. They be like, you sound like them down there at the Sirius building. Just like we say, if we hear some crazy doctrine, man, that sounds like Malachi York doctrine. All that mixed up doctrine, that's gumbo doctrine.
Right.
Man, that sounds like the Book of the Dead. That's Egyptology.
You've been beguiled.
You've been beguiled. Jehovah's Witness knock on your door, just pull up Charles Taze Russell on the internet. Right while they standing there, you say, before you give anything, before you say anything, do you know who this individual is? And then run what he was buried under, his headstone, and you'll see a Masonic headstone, and he was a 33rd degree Freemason. When you know the law of Freemasonry tell you, you have to acknowledge that Lucifer is God.
Right.
Now, do you want to tell me about why you knocked on my door? Verse 10:4.
Starting at 1.
You're 1, yes sir.
Right.
Y'all, what we're going to get into while we enter this is because we're talking about Monsanto, who has a lock on seeds.
Bare. It's bare now.
It's bare now?
Yeah.
It's bare. And look, the Pope said don't trust nothing from bare. He said, y'all better not take that shot. Y'all can take them other ones, but I ain't even trusting bare. Not saying that mean anything, but you know, you have to be careful. And what they have a lock on, y'all, they have a lock on what we're still saying. Seeds, S-E-E-D-S.
Right.
Have they modified seeds, or are they God seeds, or have they made their own seeds? Or have they just modified the Most High seed? Once we get to the clarity of that, the I guess we say the influx and the understanding, or all of this chemical compounds and makeup, is it a natural seed that's been modified, or did they make the seed themselves in a laboratory and they sprout? That's where we really need to look at this, because if they modify the seeds, all they're doing is making sure you can't grow your own food anymore. Because once you plant our seeds and grow it, it's not producing any more seeds for you to regrow. You got to come back to us.
I mean, you got to come back to him.
You got to come back to me. Is that all it is? Or can anybody prove those seeds are genetically made and they're producing a whole different strain of what we're talking about? That's what we need to come to the understanding of. If that's the truth, then that's what the truth is. Then we got to stay away from that. Y'all, this ain't hard. It's not to be judging anybody. It's just the bottom line of how much they got to do. Because if we get rid of that, we got to get rid of the mule. You know why? Because a mule is a donkey and a horse.
Yes, sir.
Mixed together, and they create a mule which is sterile.
Right.
It can't reproduce.
Right.
So now my work is gone. My mule dead.
Man, you know, when that's funny, you on it about them seeds. I bought a watermelon last year, right after we did the award show.
Right.
And it was seedless, so I didn't even fool with it. I left it at the crib, but I just let it sit. I was like an experiment.
Right.
I just threw that watermelon away like 2 weeks ago. It was still kind of firm. It didn't go down or anything, and I was like, hell, they done made this watermelon out of.
Look.
Forever watch.
Look,
Right.
it's people that had a Big Mac for 5 years online. So you got to leave that alone too. No more fast food.
Man,
Look, how does a Big Mac last for 5 years?
come on, man.
Well, French fries too.
Yeah.
So y'all, we got a lot we're dealing with, and that's why we started in Colossians about let no man judge you. You have to be up on your game if you go to fast food. It's not only that, but we were told how to cook. On an open grill, they cook on flat grill. What that means, everything that comes out of it cooks back up into it. Mm-hmm. So, and they don't take pork off the grill because you coming in. Ain't no bells ringing, nothing. Ding, ling, 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 ding, ling, ling, ling. It's a Hebrew coming here. It's a Hebrew coming here, and they running with the Hebrew grills clean. May I take your order, Hebrew? Or is they gonna throw your hamburger on there with the Big Mama surprise burger with bacon and anchovies and all of whatever else that's ungodly, pork fat and chitlin seasonings. Yours are cooked right there next to it. What you got right there, bro? Jeremiah.
I noticed, I don't know, I can't say about the food, but the guy that, you know, the new herb, this new herb don't have a secret.
Yeah.
Well, see, and this is what this
Have
is.
a point there.
See, this is what we get down to, Jeremiah, y'all. See, but we have to, the bottom line is they're still in the earth. And look, this is why the law of Melchizedek, male, female, free, and bond. Yes, the free who lives in an apartment, what chance do they have to grow their own? None? Right, none. Technically none, because you can't put a garden in what you gonna tell the landlord, oh, I'm just growing some fruit in there. He like, That look like wacky tobacco to me. That don't look like parsley. So you're running into that, but then if the contract say you can't grow nothing on the inside like that, what you got back there? Yeah.
But now, you just stuff it look like rock. It don't even look like.
Look, it's not that seeded fruit is not out there. You just have to go get it.
But the key to it, you know how they get it to be seedless? They remove the male plant from the environment. That's how it becomes seedless.
So basically, they moved the man out of the house of the
They
plant
move the
field.
man out the house.
Uh-oh.
Bro got the method.
But they do have strain. I know people, they real into this stuff.
They have what?
Produce a period. Get them in there, all people, no seed.
Yeah, they got it to where they got it to a point now where you won't even get a male seed to start a plant.
All I'm talking about is how does it start? Does it start with the creation of the Most High or the creation of man? Huh?
It should be the Most High.
No, I'm saying they have to get the seeds from the Most High.
It started with the Most High.
But what they do is the same thing they doing to us. They put a pig heart in you. They put artificial parts on you. Right now they can transplant another person's face on your face. But you know what you have to do? You have to take medicine for the rest of your life. Because the natural rejects it. And they keep rejecting it. They're now making a man a woman. So they think. But whose creation is that they working on? It's still the Most High's, ain't it? So y'all, all they're doing is working on the Most High. We're in the last days of Noah. They did all these things in that time. Y'all, it's nothing new under the sun. But yet, when Noah got off the ark, he had to get off with some seeds. Because that's how everything got populated again, didn't it? He became a vineyard. He planted a what? Where get them seeds from? See, y'all, and it was corrupt back then. Y'all, we don't know corruption yet. How you think you know corruption and we can flick the channel anytime we get ready and do things, whatever we want to do, go buy whatever we want. We ain't got a clue how wicked it's finna get. But y'all, we're talking about them taking the master's creation and reforming it for themselves. Now, they don't have to do that in a laboratory. They can get into this laboratory. If they get into this laboratory, they're going to recreate you. They'll turn you to a child of the devil. And somebody will think your DNA changed. Because you know what your parents will say? That ain't the boy I raised. The boy I raised would have never killed his children. And they mama. And then kill his damn self. The boy I never raised would have never came over here and got me involved with killing his children and say, hide me. Now I'm need $25,000 to get out of jail because of what his bad behavior do. Unless you say I spawned that bad behavior. So I'm willing to take what I spawned. I'll sit in jail while he's dead. Then I'll meet him on the other side because I'll kill myself as soon as they lock me up. Y'all have to understand this word is talking about you can't let him get into and plant seed up here first. Because if we think it's physical, y'all, we still talking about this flesh, but the kingdom is not of meats and eats and drinks, is it? No. Shit, man should not live by bread alone, should it? But by every word that come up here, you got to be fed up here. Fed correctly in your temple. Circumcised without men's hands. I don't care nothing about what no man or Monsanto saying. He told me if you up here and you understand my law, statutes, and judgment, I don't care what they do, it cannot affect you. You know why? Because Joseph, when Pharaoh's wife was doing everything she gave him, she went to the last resort and she said, I'm gonna put roots on him. I'm gonna cook spaghetti when it's that time of the month. I'm gonna see if that'll work. That didn't work. Then she started sprinkling stuff in there. But you know what he told her? He said, it has no effect. And he started eating it. What's for dessert? What's for dessert? No, and she looking back like this man is a god. But y'all, if we eat what's on the list, we ain't got to worry about what's manufactured because Ezekiel told us we're going to eat our bread defiled. Right. That don't mean it will be no good. It just means it's been tampered with. Yes, sir. And there's a way to protect yourself from tampered good. Mark 16, he tell you, if you believe on Messiah, you choose what's on the list, I'll cleanse it for you. I will put the seeds back in there. Watch what I say to you. I'll put the seeds back in there. Longest you eat something that started with me, I'll fix the rest of it. If we don't, we have to stop eating fast food. We have to run the gamut.
Man, it'll be so much stuff. You're going to have to stop eating half the stuff at the grocery store.
Yeah.
You got to find some drawers that are all linen.
Ain't going to be able to do it.
That means you got to pop that elastic out of that. So when you, man, why you got suspenders under your t-shirt holding my drawers up?
The suspenders.
Because I had to get rid of the elastic. It was mixed garments.
Suspenders rubber.
Hey, look at the suspenders rubber. Boy, all you do then is just pull them like this and pop them so he can get himself together. Ow, ow. Get your mind straight. Where we at, bro? Oh, no, boy. No, boy, not Polly and Esther.
Choose one.
Oh, man.
1 Tim 4, y'all. Let's get it, y'all. We're going to get caught up real quick. I'm just going to touch on this, y'all. And this is what we're going to do, y'all. We're going to go through and we're going to understand, y'all. Like I say, this is going to cover a few things about what goes in the body. It's going to cover what we're speaking of. Y'all, like I say, I'm not an herbalist. These brothers are herbalists. We know 3 top herbalists that we deal with. Emo Ball, Levi Raphael, and Brother James out of Maryland. Boston up in that area. 15 years plus or better, a whole life at it. But the deal is, we have to make sure that everybody's playing by the rules. If you don't, and that's so we don't get into the blame game. But it's the same thing if there are personal doctors. It's the same thing if you go to the doctor. The doctor say your cholesterol a little high. I want to put you on statins. Well, the liver produces cholesterol, right? If you put me on statins, it's going to prevent my liver from producing cholesterol. So you're going to stop its natural production. So where am I end up anyway?
Yes, sir.
Or I can get on the diet and control what's got it at the levels that it should be. Y'all, that's all we talking, y'all. We're not trying to get into y'all. All this is it. If you in doubt about anything we teaching, do without. That's all we're saying, y'all. And the law will stand supreme because 2 Peter 1:20 say the scripture is of no private interpretation. Nothing we saying up here today is our own personal private interpretation. Because you'll never be able to prove it. That's what Daniel said. Ain't what I said, Ariel said. Ariel, shit, Zeb said it to me. Well, where you get it from? I got it from Lazarus standing over there.
I ain't saying I read the whole chapter. I was saying.
Let's get it, y'all.
But now I want to just like you just said, of no private interpretation. But now, in 2 Timothy 3, verses 16 and 17, says all scripture is given by inspiration of Yah.
Yes, sir.
And is profitable for doctrine.
Right.
For reproof, for correction, and for instructions in righteousness.
For instructions in what?
In righteousness.
That's what we're looking for.
No. And it says that the man of Yah may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works.
That's what we're talking about, bro.
That's what it is.
That's what it comes down to, but you have to be fully persuaded. You have to be circumcised without hands of a man.
Exactly.
If I circumcise this for you, it's going to be a problem. Because you're going to be looking for, you'll call me later, it's fluttering, it's fluttering. You got a pair of jumper cables, hook them to your car battery, spark them like that, and then stick them on your chest. Call me back in an hour.
Yeah.
What else I'm going to do? I'm not a doctor. What I'm going to do? You got to call on the one who circumcised that without hands of men.
Exactly.
Fluttering?
Dr. Yah.
Yeah. Dr. Yah.
He's got the remedy, baby.
He's got the remedy. Let's get some more.
All right, we're in 1 Timothy chapter 4. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly.
Who's speaking?
The Spirit. That in the latter times some shall depart from the faith.
See, it's not departing from whatever. It's saying there's a faith that you're leaving. You're changing doctrine. You don't like what it's saying anymore. Go ahead.
Giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. Speaking lies in hypocrisy. Having their conscience seared with a hot iron.
See, and when you speak lies and hypocrisy, it's not, you may fool somebody, but your conscience is seared. You know it's seared when you're looking for the cool side of the pillow at night because it won't let you sleep. You cannot go to sleep. You'll be tossing that turn. You know when you go to sleep, 15 minutes before the alarm goes off, you have the best sleep of your life. And then it wakes you up and you're angry. Where we at?
Verse 3.
What it say?
Forbidding to marry and commanding to abstain from meats, which God hath created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth.
See, this whole scripture, this one verse sums it up. It's saying forbidding to marry. And it's not just saying people are marrying all kind of ways, but the forbidden marriage part is the part. There's two types. There's like the Pope tells his bishop they can't marry. That's against the word of the Most High. It says they can have one wife, or if they choose no wife, it has to be their choice. It says a man make himself a eunuch for the kingdom, right? So that means he's saying, I'm not worried. Paul was a eunuch for the kingdom, wasn't he?
Yep.
Paul didn't say, I wish a man couldn't touch a woman. I wish every man was like myself. Now, what do you think about all the other people, polygamists? You use all his other scriptures, but when he say that, now see, dog, right there, that's where he went off at. see, that's still that little bit of that craziness he got when he's saying he wish all men were like me. Dog, because I ain't gonna be like you on that point. baby, come in here. We don't like what Paul said right there, do we? No, you can't have it both ways, y'all. It's either all or nothing. Faith without works is what?
Dead.
Where else we got?
Verse 4. For every creature of God is good, and nothing to be refused, if it be received with thanksgiving.
Now, Christianity will teach that means I can eat anything I want to. I can eat anything long as I pray over it. The key words we just have prayers up and say have to be sanctified by truth. It has to be made holy by truth. If they find where pork is made holy, then you can eat it. You know the only problem with that? Isaiah 66:15 at the second coming. He say, when I come back, if I catch you eating swine's flesh or the abomination, and it's in your vessel, I mean, it's still in your intestines. You can't quit the day of the Lord. How you gonna be eating a chitlin surprise and then you're the Lord coming up? I'm ready. It's in your vessel. What else to say, bro?
Verse 5. For it is sanctified by the word of God and prayer.
By the word of God and prayer. Like we're talking about fast food, y'all. They ain't changing the grills out. Swine been cooking on that grill all day with your beef and your turkey sandwich. They ain't gonna switch the grills out. And anybody know who've ever been to Steak and Shake? No. It ain't too many of them left. Let me get the double burger with cheese. Okay, they pop it on the grill. Somebody walking behind you. Give me the double burger.
Double bacon.
And surprise with the double bacon. I hear y'all got the meats. Oh, that's Arby's. But why is it everything they show, what entices you is when they throw bacon on top of it? If it's turkey bacon, y'all, ain't no problem. But they don't even sell turkey. Turkey is on the low end. They say we can't sell it. We have it in the freezer all the time, but pork fly out of our freezers because we think everybody's in the mind of Bob Evans. We think that's what we're supposed to have for breakfast.
They like eating high alcohol.
Boy, look. What you say, high alcohol? Boy, you say, boy, head growing like a, look, and you may have some to that, cause people say, oh, I feel so woozy after that. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 6. If thou put the brethren in remembrance of these things, thou shalt be a good minister of Jesus Christ, nourished up in the words of faith and of good doctrine, whereunto thou hast attained.
Yes, sir.
But refuse profane and old wives' fables, and exercise thyself rather unto godliness.
See, and that's what we'll hold right there. Y'all gonna get right into Genesis 1:29. And this, what we're talking about is eating when some tell you to abstain. Look, they're commanding. It's a difference if somebody, we're dealing with somebody and they eat something and they don't know, but they're not commanding you. When you hear somebody tell you, I'm telling you, you better not eat them, or lake of fire for you if you eat it. If you have somebody that's saying those type of things, that's what we're talking about. But just when somebody expressing it to you, and it said the scripture is for reproof, correction, and instructions in righteousness, ain't it?
That's right.
That's what we have to get to, but it has to be sanctified by the truth. The only thing that is sanctified is law, statutes, and judgments. If you cannot find that in there, then you are interpreting that to mean what you want to do. I can eat whatever I want to eat. All I have to do is pray over it. But in the same breath, they said the laws is done away with. So this say somebody's commanding you to do it. Ain't commanding law?
Yes.
Ain't it order? So if somebody commands you to eat whatever you like, and y'all, we done ate the whole pig. When there's nothing left but the rear end and you eat that. The rooter to the tutor.
They don't waste nothing on the pig but the squeal.
Boy, nothing but the squeal.
They battle that and sell it too.
Genesis 1:29, y'all. So the reason I got to all that, because we're talking about what's sanctified with the truth. Now, we may have some things that somebody say, look, that processed meat that you ate once a week, y'all. Or try once every other week, y'all. Try fast food just once a month if you can. But just start trying to cook it. But if they say, I'm commanding you not to ever go back to the fast food, you can't do that. Because if they say 100% beef, that's not on you, they lie. Because if they're not, then what can we trust? I'm talking about what can you go buy and purchase and trust that the ingredients are the same thing they saying. New charcoal toothpaste will get all them old stains off your teeth. You'll be shining like an African at night. But if you don't read them ingredients, and it says gelatin from hog fat, you're gonna have clean teeth, but your stomach gonna be rumbling.
Toe up.
And look, the smile is gonna be different because it's gonna be on a stool. Go ahead.
All right, we're in Genesis chapter 1, verse 29.
And so, y'all, we're gonna take them, like I say, y'all, we're going with corn, we're gonna hit duck, we're gonna hit the horn of the Lord. Should it be a ram's horn, or should it be the silver horns mentioned in Numbers 10? So we're gonna hit that, y'all, so we get some understanding, because what people are doing is they holding people at bay. And I'm just talking about the horn part, because I read with Sister Alicia out of Ohio. She had to straighten her sister out. No, sister, if y'all ain't got a ram's horn at the feast, you got the wrong horn. And she said, who told you that? Look at this video. I'm like, sister, you on the right path. Just keep doing it just like you doing it. Trust the Bible. Where we at? Don't trust the video. Where we at?
Genesis chapter 1, verse 29.
What it say?
And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed.
Every herb doing what?
Bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth.
See, it's all over the earth, not just in the Garden of Eden. Go ahead.
And every tree, in the which is the fruit of a tree, yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat.
See, it's meat. So a pear is considered meat. An apple is considered meat. See, you got to get your mind off of that understanding that when you say meat, you only think of hamburger, turkey, and different things like that. Meat is fruit. Meat is vegetables. Meat is peas. Meat is nuts and berries. Go ahead. Where we at?
This word is meat.
Yes, sir.
Verse 30. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so.
See, now it says, if we hang on just every green herb, then, and I'm just saying, I've never done a study on seaweed or sea moss other than just the surface of it. It's a green, but is it an herb? Is it seed bearing? Does it have healing property? Yes. What it does is it relieves anxiety. It takes this away from you, it takes that away from you. But it's a problem for me because it does the same thing to me that shrimp did back in the day. It makes my throat itch, feel like it's starting to swell up. So when I took that, even though it get rid of the anxiety, it's gonna choke me out. It may not do that for bro. So what we're telling, that's what we're saying, you have to be fully persuaded. You have to know your temple and what can go in there without causing you harm. Or that shovel is gonna dig a grave for you. That's where it's coming to. Read some more.
Verse 31. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day.
So what we have, see, everything that herb bearing which is upon the face of all the earth. So all we're asking is, we're not saying that you're wrong. What we're saying is we got to pull the sea into this, or is that a product of what comes off the earth and finds its way into the sea? One or the other. You understand what I'm saying? Or we got to track the seeds to it. Not ever gonna say it does not help. It helps a lot of people, but the bottom line is water helps people, but too much water do what? It'll kill you.
Yes.
It'll flush out all your potassium. No potassium, what that mean? Muscle cramping, right?
Yes.
What is the heart made out of? So water being good could kill you. And that's on the other side of the coin of what we talking about, y'all. So it's both sides. Know what go in here. 8 glasses of water will kill me. 8 glasses of water may not kill somebody that's 500 pounds. He need 8 glasses. But that's too much for me. It will flush out all my impurities. I'll be detoxed too much. I'm talking about when you pee, I'm talking about this crystal clear. You should have a yellow tinge in there. Went to a doctor and he said, well, we didn't find anything. I say, well, that's what the nature of the test is. They like, no, we didn't find anything. It's like you did. Well, I was doing some work with some stuff I got offline. And basically what it flushed out of me, I might as well been dead. They like, we can't find no nutrients. We can't find nothing. I'm like, well, that stuff do work, don't it? But it almost worked me out of the job. But they couldn't let me go because the only thing they say, we'll try you again in 30 days. In 30 days, you just stop that process of having to put yourself in a position. If you can't stop, it's a problem. You can't fool these white folks all the time. You're going to have to get to the point where you say, I'm just going to guarantee it's going to be done. You can get Junior's piss all you want. But you're going to be in a panic and going to get little Betty's piss. You know, she's 16. You don't smoke reefer, do you? No, don't do no drugs. And they get there and they like, well, you passed the test, but it's a problem, you pregnant. What?
You the same brother came in here with that fake piss.
What you got to, guys?
Sister in the chat got a question. She said, I would like the scriptures forbidding mushrooms.
Well, what we're going to do, that's why we into the herbs now. It said every green herb. What color mushrooms? Huh? I'm just saying, what color are they? If it's some green mushrooms that grow, that sprout seeds, you good to go. See, y'all, it ain't gonna go into every good thing. And we're gonna hit Leviticus 11. Does the law tell us what birds we can eat in the law?
It just tells us what we can.
What it tell us?
What we can.
What we can't eat.
Right.
It don't tell us, and the chicken. It's very good for you. And the turkey. And this and that bird. And
the pigeon.
The pigeon is good. We run them off though, don't we?
Yeah.
You like anything that drop that much of dung on my windowsill can't be eaten. Cause I'll be doing the same thing next then on somebody's windowsill. No, so Look, can you eat giraffe?
Yeah.
It chew at the cub and it split hoof, right?
Yeah.
You want some real neck bones?
There you go.
You want to feed everybody for 2 weeks with some real neck bones.
One bone.
One bone. So y'all, it's not going to get down to everything. This is why we're saying you have to be fully persuaded in your own mind. I'm not going to tell you, you can't eat. There's portobello, they all this. I'm in doubt, so I'll do without. I'll just get something else that replace it until the understanding comes fully where I can explain it. I don't have to guess at it. And if I ask you, because if you like it, I'm telling you, I don't see it. You show me where it's good to eat at. That's all I'm asking. What law, statute, and judgment say they okay? If you got that, then we stand corrected because we've been reproof, instructed in what? Righteousness. That's all we saying, y'all. We're not judging anybody. It's not a judgment call. It's a cause for you to look at yourself. It may work on that, but does it have a side effect? Like all medicines. You know what I'm saying? This gonna stop the high blood pressure, but then your arm gonna do this. Then you gotta take a pill for this, and when this stops, then the leg kick out. You're like, why your legs shaking like that? Them 2 pills. Well, here the leg shaking pill. Well, now this one causes visible gas. No. Now, you ain't gonna be invited nowhere, do you?
Visible gas.
Where we at, y'all?
That was it for
That's it for that? So, y'all, we're dealing with what's upon the earth, y'all. Now we're gonna move forward because we want to hit everything concerning this. Genesis 3:18. What you laughing at over there, sir?
Well, see, mushrooms don't even really have a flavor. They take on the flavor of what you're cooking it in, right?
Well, and I don't know. I have not done the full study. All I know is they grow in moist, dense areas.
Shit.
Moist and dense and
That's what they grow under.
They grow under what, boy?
Shit.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
He said they're called dung rooms.
Hey.
Shrooms. Now, see, also, there's a side of them that opens up your...
Right. You got them psychedelic.
You got them, yeah. Them will open up the mental.
Yeah.
And let you see some things man, he on them shrooms. Have anybody ever said that from a good perspective? Man, he just beat everybody in the 100-yard dash. Man, he's at the top of his class. He on them shrooms. Or you doing something crazy. Man, that's him running naked again down the street. He on them shrooms. Man, he did what? In a bank hollering he the Messiah naked? He on them shrooms. I'm talking about when he on them shrooms and where the righteousness at. That's all we asking, y'all. We can't explain it to you. We're just asking you to explain it to us so that we can put it in a category so when the question comes up to us, we can explain it. But if I can't explain it, I'm not going to vouch for what I can't explain. Everybody must be fully persuaded in their own mind. If you like them, and y'all, we're going to hit duck too. Duck is one that's on the line. I just stopped because it's 80% fat meat. And I don't see in here in the law where we eat water birds. That don't mean it ain't in there. It just means I ain't seen it yet. I'm talking about me. I ain't seen it to teach otherwise, but if it's there, it's there. When they say, well, there's domestic duck, do they ever go in the water? And it ain't because, well, I got whooped up about duck when Nurse and my uncle, before he got in the truth, they asked me why we can't eat duck. I said, because it got webbed feet. Boy, you talking about some laughing and mocking. Boy, that was Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy, all of them on me. Bernie Mac, boy, they laughed me to scorn. So from that day on, I said, I'll never do that again. Ever do that again, just say it's outer, make me say it's not according to law. But I guessed at that. I didn't have nothing else to say. I didn't expect them to ask me that. Pork, I was ready for. Because they had been complaining about pork. But duck had me at a whole nother level because I didn't do my work on it. So because we have a water bird situation, I'm in doubt. So I do without. So I eat all the other birds that's say they on the list. That don't mean I'm telling you can't do it, but I'm telling you, if somebody asks you, you got to be ready to do your work. You can't say, well, oh, I think, some people get things. I don't want to hear none of that. It has to be sanctified by truth. It's your job to find it sanctified by truth, not mine. Because I told you I'm not going to touch it until you prove it to me that I can. If you can't, then you can't be mad at me because I won't. I'm not telling you you can't either. I'm just telling you I don't see it. So I'm staying away from it. Niggas raised on duck all their life, eating pork and rice their whole life. Now niggas want to quit. See, that's where it go. When it go to there, they ain't got no explanation.
Google on yourself for a couple of years.
Boy, look here. Where we at? Let's catch up, y'all. What you say, Zeb?
Good. I ain't got to repeat that.
Go ahead.
Where you at, lad?
You at Genesis 3:18.
Oh, so me?
Yeah. So what we gonna do, y'all? We just hitting these right to the point. Y'all read all in between because this is the curse. And y'all, what we have to be careful of. This is the number one enticing thing. That was before man sinned. They did that before the flood. They did this. So once again, you just ask him again. So you're telling me the herbs of the field before Adam sinned are different from the herbs that we have now, and we cannot get them anymore. And we just read wrong. He said in the entire earth. Or did he just say the Garden of Eden? Where was they cast out from?
The garden.
The garden. So that means either you're telling me once that locked out, those are different seeds. Then you right back into Hebrew Christianity. You just like the Christian to say, well, didn't Jesus drink wine? Didn't he turn water to wine? You know what they say? That was blessed wine. Blessed wine. And his eyes red? Blessed wine. And the governor of the feast know the difference? Wait a minute. This ain't the late wine, this the good stuff. Mm-hmm. So you think the governor of the feast think there's a blessed wine and then there's a lesser blessing wine? But that's what they go to when they have nothing else to stand on, y'all. Right. But the script say, drink a little wine for thine infirmity's sake. But the bottom line is say, because that says that, and I got a problem with mine, that don't mean I'm violating the scripture. No, it said right there, drink a little wine. No, I'm not going to disobey the Lord. And then when you wake up, it ain't my fault that piss stain in the front of my pants and on your couch. I didn't try to, but the scripture say I could drink. And you don't be mad at me, be mad at the Lord. He said I could drink. Now who am I to obey?
Boy, you must be on them shrooms.
But look, the scripture give us law about wine drinking. It tells you all throughout Sirach, instruction, be sober. Mm-hmm. That means you can drink but don't get drunk. If 2 beers make you pull your clothes off, drink 1. It's as simple as that. It ain't hard, is it? Know thyself. Next thing you know, that's why they like to get you all them jobs, like to get you at them happy hours. The next thing you know, you on film in the cafeteria, everybody watching you dance on the table with your shirt off at the happy hour on the beginning of the Sabbath. Loosen up, man, they call it, loosen up.
Right.
Okay? Oh, and the only thing they could mean is clothing, because that's what you usually come out of.
Right.
Well, bro, go ahead.
Genesis 3?
Yeah, Genesis 3:18.
Genesis 3, verse 18. Genesis chapter 3, verse 18. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field.
So now it says thorns and thistles that is going to also bring forth, y'all. When we used to cook, it wasn't no wheat and chaff mixed together. It wasn't none of that because we were in paradise. Mm-hmm. It was nothing to offend in the growing of crops. But because you got kicked out of salvation and went to the earth, now you got to work and separate. You got to fight the pestilence. Just like we have to fight the pestilence of the doctrines of the devil. You have to fight it through righteousness. You have to move that stuff out of the way. So it's a continual job of moving all that stuff out, y'all. This is why we have to get rid of strife and debate, because it's not going to be in the kingdom. You got to practice for how to love your brother. You have to. You got any problems with that, you got to find another doctrine. That ain't hard. I mean, it's simple instructions, ain't it?
Right.
Because you're going to start off at 1,000 years. It starts at 1,000 before it moves to eternity. If you can't do a weekend, how in the hell is you going to do 1,000 years? Man, everything was all right till he or she showed up.
Right.
Passover was cool. The problem is, how do they keep getting in? How do they keep getting in? It's like Messiah said, Passover, one of y'all a devil. Is it me, Lord? Thou hast said. Is it me, Lord? Is it me? Go do and do what you need to do. But the disciples didn't even know what he was talking about, because they said they thought he was going out to buy more food because he had the money sack. But Messiah told them, you go do what you do. Go talk to your handlers and tell them, I'm not taking the deal. I'm not rushing judgment like you want it to be. I'm not going to do it. I got to go to the cross. Ain't no need you running. You got to wait just like everybody else that's coming into the world. But he couldn't tell them, y'all, it's going to be at least 2,000 years. Do you know they're going to be in the basement of a serious building talking about this situation? 2,000 years plus from now, Peter? What you think they'd have said back then if you told them that? Man. Where we at?
Did you want more of this?
No, y'all see, but what I wanted to hit on was, thou shalt eat again the herb of the field. So those herbs in Genesis 1:29 was covering the whole earth. So it's not separated to where you can say the herbs in the kingdom was more righteous. They were just free of any pesticides or anything like that. It's the same herb. We just got to fight off the pesticides. There's natural pesticides, ain't it? Roundup will kill you, won't it?
Yeah.
But Roundup take the work out of pulling roots out and going in between there and gardening and pulling the roots out. Roundup say, we'll fix that for you. But if you overspray, you'll be babbling like a newborn. And then Bayer, you be trying to sue them. Ain't that who Roundup, people taking Roundup?
You can't sue them though. Your good President Obama passed
Then fix that, huh?
Well, you can't sue them if you grow a tail from what they're doing to your food.
And look, and the ones who are suing are already on death's door. They got full-blown cancer. So you give me $5 million, what is that gonna do? And I got 3 months, but y'all, you know, don't y'all clown with this money. What you think they're gonna do as soon as the class casket closes?
Well,
boy, look here. Strippers will be at the wake. Flagging you into the limousine from the burial ground. Here you got that paper from the funeral. Your daddy left you.
Right.
Now he told me don't make it rain. Now I'm gonna do a little drizzling with y'all, but I ain't gonna make it rain. Yeah, where we at? We finished at 3:18. Let's go Genesis 7. And y'all, what we're dealing with, herb, we're gonna get to corn, we're gonna get to the horn, and we're gonna get to duck, we're gonna get to the Leviticus law, y'all. And what we're gonna see is that all it is simple instructions, y'all. It don't go over the top. If you have any questions or concern, Most High say just don't deal with it, and then come and pray to me and I'll give you the answer. Just like he did everything. The daughters of Zelophehad went to Moses and said, our father have no sons, daughters only. What we gonna do about the law that say a man got to be reduced? And she said, that's a good thing. That's what I want y'all to do. I want y'all to look at certain situations so we can address them. But what you talking ain't no different than what I said to to Eve in Genesis 3:16. Your seed against his seed. That's a woman with seed. What you talking? What you talking? Revelation 12, the woman's seed again ain't mentioning no man. What you talking? So then they got to understand that, okay, as long as you marry somebody from the same tribe, we'll pass it through him. So there's instructions to correct anything that we have problems with, anything that seems of a contradiction of the scripture. And it's the same way if we have any contradiction about any food. If somebody tell you you cannot eat beef or chicken or whatever, and they say because Monsanto got a lock on it, you say, well, what about the law? See, we never eat that. Your teeth were not made for that. Well, what teeth was Abraham, the Messiah, and them angels using when he prepared meat for them in Genesis 18? What would they eat? He went and got milk and butter. What was it? Well, see, that ain't on the earth no more. I'll say you're a liar. If you telling me right now I can't Google cows and goats raised the same way Abraham did, you a liar. Well, no, I'm not saying that. Well, what the hell are you saying? You're commanding me, and now you're changing your story. Well, it's just saying it's good. I don't care nothing about that. You ain't as good as you was before the sin in the garden.
The Father says he will.
You're shaping in iniquity. You can't get what Adam and them had before they sinned. I don't care what you chew on. If that's the case, it wouldn't be no more, especially for the ghetto. Where's this shipment of getting you back into Adam before they sin going? It's going to the ghetto. No, send that out to Chesterfield. Send them that Aldi's. Grapes with no seeds. That's what they'll get. Stack of Aldi's. Let them think they're getting a discount. But send the good stuff out there that was before Adam sinned. Yo, that's the type of enticement and foolishness that they'll run past you to try to make you think back there. But it wasn't no sin either. So you got something that's going to erase or put you back into the realm Adam was before they sinned. What you chewing on? Where you get it from? You had it shipped to you.
And them shrooms, huh, dog?
Yeah. You got it from China. How you know it came from China? What is this ESL in the small print? This came from East St. Louis. Get the hell out of here. You buying it from an herb shop in East St. Louis. Get there. This ain't come from no damn China. And how is China the #1 on the map? Yo, unless they got a growing facility, how they gonna convince you that what they haven't ordered in, they ordered the same way you would? How they gonna tell you what I'm ordering because I got the lock, and then they ain't gonna tell you where I'm ordering it from? Unless you go out back and say, these are my grow houses. This is where all of it's coming from. You see, I got 10, they reach as far as Kings Highway. I got them, y'all. This is where all my product, I grow it myself. But you getting a package in from China, herbs specialized from Hu Hang Sing and his family, and you gonna convince me that I can't find it in the city? Y'all, we can't be led astray by that foolishness. Genesis chapter 7.
Oh, chapter.
No, I just want to read 7, and then we're gonna skip down 1 through 4. And then we're going to skip down for after that. Y'all read the whole thing. But I just want to get some understanding on what got on the ark.
Genesis chapter 7, verse 1. And the Elohim said unto Noah, Come thou and all thy house into the ark. For thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. Of every clean beast thou shalt take of thee by 7.
By how many?
By 7.
So that means 7 female deer, 7 male deer. 7 male goats, 7 female goats. Go ahead.
The male and his female, and of the beasts that are not clean by 2, the male and his female.
So 2 male pigs, 2 female pigs. So you see how more of the righteous got on the ark and less of the unclean got on the ark? So why do we frown at clean meat? If you tell somebody you ever say, man, go down. Who ate my chitlins? Wait a minute.
That's a good one for those who say you can't touch a football either.
Boy, look.
Why did the Most High tell them to put it on the ark, then?
Boy, look here. I'm not eating Bambi.
With her chitlins.
But you eat porky. Where we at?
Verse 3. Of fowls also of the air by 7.
See, y'all see that? The fowls of the air by 7.
The male and the female, to keep seed alive upon the face of the earth.
So the fowls of the air by 7. So we still got the same law. It don't say unclean and clean, but you know it's the law. And that's the deal. Where did Noah get the law from? When was the law delivered to Noah? Who delivered it to him? Did Adam deliver a different law to Abram after he got kicked out the garden? What did Adam teach him? He had to teach him the same law. There's not a different law once you get outside the garden. The law inside the garden is righteousness. There's no sin there. So when you get outside, the law still exists. It's just now you amongst unrighteousness. Now you're going to have a harder time.
Right.
You're going to have a harder time. It's just like retirement off job. You retire, if you go to work and sweat yourself today in retirement, it's a problem. You should be able to work when you feel like and leave when you feel like it. Where you going, Miss Johnson? Hell, I done had enough of this today. I'm going home. Hell, I'm retired from Chrysler. I ain't got to put up with none of this. Right. I'm going home. What they gonna say? That's the way it was in the garden. There was still work. The Most High rested, but there was still work to do. He got to watch all of planet Earth and correct it if it go wrong. Same way in the garden. We just didn't have to do thorns and thistles. There was no weeds that came up amongst your crops in the garden. Same herbs, same everything, same meat outside of the garden. It's just that it come with a price now. And it's called hard labor and sweat. Where you used to could do it in retirement, if you get tired and say, woo, mint juleps. I may go back tomorrow. But you can't do that on nobody's job. Look, Jake showed a video of a Mexican dude sleep on the job and they throw them black cat firecrackers right there. See, that straightened all that out, didn't it? And look, he jumped up and was going for his job. He didn't know which way he was going. Where I'm at. Sleep on the job. You can do that when you retire. What they gonna do, fire you? Thank you. Maybe I should have been at home. I wouldn't have been asleep here. Go ahead, bro. Where we at? I'm gonna stop talking. We finished that?
Verse 4.
Okay.
For yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and every living substance that I have made will I destroy from off the face of the earth.
Go ahead, verse 5. Just want to hit verse 5.
And Noah did according unto all the Elohim commanded.
What did he do? All that what?
All that the Elohim commanded.
And when y'all go on down, y'all read the rest of this, but I just wanted to get to when he get off the ark, 40 days he came in. Read to the waters prevail, okay. And we see everything he put on the ark. So this is the deal. If the flood wiped out everything, every tree, every green herb, how did they get replanted on the earth? Did they sprout up themselves? You know, because the water covered everything. If you can say, well, that's where sea herbs came from, they basically were herbs that was on the earth that got flooded out. But they're still herbs. If that's what you're saying, that's still gonna take work. But y'all, so we just want to end there of everything that got on the earth. And he said, because y'all read all that whole 7th chapter. It's parts in there.
Let me ask you this though.
Go ahead, bro.
Now, with the flood being in place, and the Lord sent out a dove or a bird, there still had to be a tree that was planted because he brought back a branch to let them know that there was already dry land somewhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But what we're talking about, right, because there was no recreation of what was already on earth, but it said every living thing that breathed was destroyed. So was all the trees and stuff destroyed, or was there, like you say, it survived throughout that ark? When the waters abated off the earth, things started sprouting. Because you're gonna get a wilderness no matter what happened. If water leave, things gonna start growing back up. But it's a wilderness at that point. It ain't been tilled. So after the flood, it came back down. But what we're talking about is anything still underwater? Is any of the food we go get still in the water? Or did he do something different? Because he didn't get that until the waters were gone. So was the Lord working while he was in the ark? Because he had to stay in there. He said, once the water stopped, stay in here a whole year. So what was the Lord doing for that whole year while he was in the ark? What was he doing? He was getting the world back ready for Noah when he got off, because he can't recreate the whole world again. The Most High recreated, but he didn't start all over like Genesis 1. What was there came back to life however he did. But we'll get some more understanding on that, because we got a couple other scriptures that's going to clear up what you just had. Genesis 8:22. Y'all read all of Genesis 8, starts off 3 and 4, tell you how long the waters remain. 150 days. That's how long the waters were holding. It made sure that everything that had breath in it drowned or died out. So y'all read all of 8 up until, let's hit verse 11. Okay, I see what you said. Let's start at 8 and 7, and we're going to skip down. 8 and 7 through 9. And then we're going to jump down to verse 20 through 22, because there's something very important when we get to that part, 20 through 22, and that's a covenant being made. Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 8, verse 7. And he sent forth the raven, which went forth to and fro until the waters were dried up from off the earth.
Right.
Also he sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground.
So why would he send 2 birds, 2 different types of birds, to do the same thing? Both of them doing the same thing, ain't it? Mm-hmm. But one he trusts more than the other. A raven is a what kind of bird?
It's a scavenger.
And that makes it what? Unclean.
Right.
The dove is clean, right? Mm-hmm. So we see him working with clean and unclean when the water's abated. Go ahead, what else to say?
But the dove found no rest in the sole of her foot, and she returned unto him unto the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand and took her and pulled her in unto the ark.
Well, you say, well, what about the raven? What happened to him? Where did his soul find rest at? On a dead carcass, picking it. It's floating, picking some squirrel shanks, floating in the water. But a dove won't do that, because it won't rest on dead carcasses and different things like that. It won't. You see a squirrel run over in the morning on the way to work, when you come back, it's gone, ain't it? Mm-hmm. What you think done that? Ain't nothing left but tail feathers. What you think ate it up? See, the Lord got a way to keep the earth clean, to keep trash and being eaten up, y'all. We need the unclean as well as we need the clean. You can't have good tilapia unless the shrimp and the catfish clean in the bottom of the ocean for you. Or everything is muddied up, ain't it? Mm-hmm. You got to have a filtering system in every facet of life. It must be filtered out. And we have to filter bad behavior out too. Where we at? Skip down to, y'all read all that, but skip down to
20.
Yeah, y'all see the dove came back. Yeah, but jump down to 20. And y'all look, when y'all get everything you're reading up into 20, you'll see that the dove came back and had an olive leaf. Now, why the olive leaf? Huh? Is that a seed bearing legal? The olive? So that leaf means that he brought back something that was seed bearing. Olives are legal, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Verse 20.
Genesis chapter 8, verse 20. And Noah builded an altar unto the Most High, and took of every clean beast, and of every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar.
See, now people were saying, see that? See, that's what I'm saying, bro. Y'all into that Bible. Why would he be sacrificing and ain't no sin? Why would Noah sacrifice? The book say he righteous. Don't your book say he righteous? Why he sacrificed? It's the same thing as Ezekiel 48. We gonna sacrifice, but it's the sacrifice of what you offer the Lord after you've been saved.
Thanksgiving.
It's a thanksgiving. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. But if he'd have offered up the wrong thing by that, the Lord say, oh, you just got through it, huh? I'll kill you on the other side. That's why there's the rod, to make sure when all Israelites come up to the rod and see if you can make it past the rod, because some Israelites gonna turn, man, I always believe what you saying, man, but shit, I know Farrakhan nephew, that's the only reason I was a Muslim. What? But you at the rod now, and you got instructions out of another book. What's gonna happen at the rod?
To the left.
Read what else it say.
Verse 21. And the Elohim smelled a sweet savor. And the Elohim said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake. For the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite any more everything living as I have done. While the earth remains.
While the earth do what?
Remains. Seed time.
What kind of time?
Seed time.
Where them seeds come from, y'all? Where them seeds come from? They got to be on the ark. What else it say?
Seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease.
See, day and night shall not cease. Imam, you need to holler at me? Okay. I'll talk to you. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Imam. What Miss said? Okay. Mr. Gone tell Mr. I said hey.
He was out there with a...
Okay.
Shabbat shalom, Imam.
Shabbat shalom, Imam. Love you too, Imam. Verse 22 again.
While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease.
Shall not do what?
Cease.
See, so harvest time. What is harvest time? That's from the planting of seeds, you pull it up, right?
Right.
So where are the seeds coming from? Did they get on the ark? They had to get on the ark, y'all. But they have to be righteous seeds. They ain't got nothing to do. Or you saying, well, them ain't the damn seeds from the Garden of Eden. How you know? How do you know? You was there in the Garden of Eden.
The seed police.
And the seed police, yes, sir. But y'all, when you see Noah sacrificing after everything was over and he was free of sin, that's the thanks for the Most High for what you done to me. He said it's a sweet savor. It ain't got nothing to do. He ain't sacrificing for sins. He's sacrificing for the deliverance, just like Ezekiel tell us. And he said we're going to offer bullocks again upon the altar, but it's going to be for thank you for letting me live in this kingdom for the rest of my life. I ain't never got to worry about no pain, no more, none of that, no more. No bills, nothing. Thank you. The least we can do is offer a sacrifice, can't we? And it ain't even our stuff.
Right.
Genesis 9, 1 through 4.
Genesis chapter 9, verse 1. And Yahweh blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fishes of the sea. Unto your hand are they delivered. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you.
What about a hippopotamus? Is it talking that language?
A roach moving.
How about a German Shepherd sandwich? Could this mean poodles and noodles?
That's a little too rough.
Yeah.
All the roaches y'all been killing?
How about a St. Bernard paw? Instead of a St. Paul. Is that good? Where we at?
Verse 4. But flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat.
So you see right there, it says, everything that should be meat for you, even as the green herb. I have given you all things. Now, seaweed and sea moss is green. The problem is, the only reason, I'm not talking about these brother, any brother, like I'm abstaining because I need to still find out how it's an herb. And if it's seed bearing, because it's the same green herb we just read in Genesis 1, 29, 23, it says seed bearing herb, and then every green thing. Well, if it's talking about every green plant, then if you water down there, we can eat grass. Can we eat grass? You can eat grass? Dogs eat grass when they sick and they throw it up. I'm just saying, boy, if we see you eating in some grass, you may be like that Babylonian king. That eagle claws and
come on over in a couple more months. I guess.
Yeah, we got some goat work for you, bro. Look here, it's springtime too. Boy, look here, I ain't got to get out there and cut no more grass. Get Shemai on the phone, bro. Look here, it's plenty to eat down here for you. Boy.
Bro in the back got a question.
What we got?
Straight back. What you got, bro?
Can you do what?
Eat wheatgrass.
What I'm saying is, I've never eaten wheatgrass. If it's a seed-bearing herb, yes, you can. If it's meant to be eaten like that, or if it's for certain other things to do, like cattle, they don't eat the herbs. They only eat. They say they're eating the green grass. That's their diet. That's cud.
And that's what wheatgrass is, part of it.
Cud. Well, if you eating the cow, he been eating it, you got it in your system, but you just eating like a cow, a grass of the field, then you reduce yourself to a beast, because that was the punishment of their king, and his fingernails grew long, and he grew eagle's feathers out his back, and he was eating grass like an oxen. So, yes, you can be lowered to less than a man's status, so to speak, and you eat like a beast. You eat the food of the field, but what do a dog eat? What is a dog supposed to eat? What does it say they eat from? What's your best friend eat? The dogs eat from the what? Crumbs of the table, don't they?
Or the master's table.
Dog eat what you eat. The problem is, we got a lot of sick dogs because you're throwing pork in their plate. Dogs got high blood pressure and sugar. Dogs limping. Look, what do you think when it said, man, I was sick as a dog? Where did they get that from? Go down her head. I'm talking about, what was the dog eat some Alpo or something, like, man, that didn't agree with me, boy. I mean, where do you get I was sick as a dog? Right. When a dog gets sick, they eat grass to throw up what's making them sick. Come on up, Nat. You understand what I'm saying? So how do you be sick as a dog? Who got the rules of dog sickness? Read some up.
What you want? We
can hold that. We gotta read up. We finished that. Yeah, that's all I want to do was get right to that point down to verse 4. And it tells us we can't never eat blood, and that's all right. And it goes on down to tell you about murdering that in 9. But let's just get right to we're gonna get the book of Jubilees now. I want to run a couple quick ones in there, y'all, while we still got a good hour and a half. So, and y'all understand this, y'all, we're gonna get into some Sirach 38 too, talking about the physician, the herbalist, the apothecary, the one that the Most High set up for that. That's not me. He sent one to us. We got 2 online. We got one out on the East Coast, we got one in North Carolina area, and we got one right here in St. Louis. That's not opportunists in this. It's a difference. There's plenty of herbalists around, but some are opportunists. If they tell you what you can't do, you got to eat from them, that's an opportunist. And charging you for help. What's the difference in what the doctors is doing? Look, advice is free. Now, if you do that 7 days a week, 6 days, 1 day a week, you can't do that. But you can't command anybody. It's free will, and you can get a second opinion. How much you charging for that? $30 for 2 pills. Well, this kind of, man, this come back before the flood. Boy, this the real stuff. I got to connect in China. And you believe it.
Where you going in Jubilees?
Jubilees, chapter 4. We're just going to hit them real quick. 4:24 through 26. We'll skip right to the end to Jubilees 6, 1 through 11. They short chapters. And y'all, what we're doing is we're lining up exactly the same thing that Genesis is saying. And then y'all, we're going to move off herb. We're going to get right into the law of corn, because Monsanto creates corn that we ain't supposed to eat. 2 kinds of corn, sweet corn, or one kind that is not modified, and then you got the regular one. So don't say we can't eat corn, just say you have to eat that corn. Monsanto don't mess with that one. That would be the right thing to say, wouldn't it?
Right.
But don't say you can't eat it, period.
Right.
Then I'm gonna holler 1 Tim 4 on you. Bill Gates got a lock on land for farming, right?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say he got a lock on laboratories, did he?
Right.
He gonna be planting that stuff in the ground, ain't he?
Yep.
It's how he manipulating it after it comes up.
So he
Let's
the
get it, y'all.
He the largest landowner.
Largest landowner in the world.
Right. And is he a scientist or what is he?
Boy, ain't no scientist. A scientist
That's
on
what I'm saying.
mixing kind.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's get it, y'all.
All
Jubilees.
right, we're in the book of Jubilees, chapter 4. And we're going to start our reading in verse 24.
Yes, sir. We're going to hit these quick. Y'all read the whole chapter, y'all, for time's sake.
And it reads, "And on account of it, Yah brought the waters of the flood upon all the land of Eden. For there he was set as a sign, and that he should testify against all the children of men, that he should recount all the deeds of the generations until the day of condemnation. And he burnt the incense of the sanctuary, even sweet spices acceptable before the Most High on the mount. For Yahweh has 4 places on the earth."
What Yahweh got?
4 places on the earth. The Garden of Eden, and the Mount of the East, and this mountain on which thou art this day, Mount Sinai, and Mount Zion, which will be sanctified in the new creation for a sanctification of the earth. Through it will the earth be sanctified from all its guilt and its uncleanness throughout the generations of the world.
So we see the 4 places on the earth. We in the mount right now, or the mount of wilderness, so to speak. First you had the Garden of Eden, which is the center of the world. Then you had the mountain which we are under now, and that's just a wilderness mount, so to speak. You have Mount Sinai. And then it said Mount Zion. That's the mount where the Lord's feet step down on. It said it's going to be the mount that settles all the matter and bring righteousness back into the fold. So if you have anybody running you back to Mount Sinai, you're on the wrong mountain, ain't you? Look, they got you going back to the wrong mountain. You still got to come to this mountain.
Right.
Ain't no need you being on that mountain practicing nothing. That mount is no more than being in the Garden of Eden. We can't go back to that mount yet. But it says then New Jerusalem, that mountain where that sets down, that's what we look forward to. We don't look back to that. So now you understand Galatians 4 and Galatians 5 a little bit different when you understand the parable of Mount Sinai and Jerusalem and Hagar and Sarah. It's telling you one is the bondman, the other one is free. Sinai is bondage. Mount Zion is freedom. Go ahead, where we at? Let's just go to the next.
We're in chapter 6 and verse 1 of the book of Jubilees.
You got it up on the board? We on the board? Hold on, y'all. We're going to wait to get it on the board. You got it up there too? You got it on the video?
Yeah,
okay, we just want to hear for the people that's here that don't have it. We're going to get it up on the board, y'all.
All right? Let's get some understanding, family. Verse 1. "And on the new moon of the 3rd month, he went forth from the ark and built an altar on that mountain. And he made an atonement for the earth, and took a kid and made atonement by its blood for all the guilt of the earth. For everything that had been on it had been destroyed, save those that were in the ark with Noah."
See, you see why he offered sacrifice. He said for all the past sin. Lord, I still want to show you, I understand that. I want to offer a sacrifice to you about that past stuff. I understand. Go ahead.
Verse 3. "And he placed the fat thereof on the altar. And he took an ox and a goat and a sheep and kids and salt and a turtle dove and the young of a dove, and placed a burnt sacrifice on the altar, and poured thereon an offering mingled with oil."
Where you get oil from? Where you get olive oil from?
From olives.
From olives?
Yeah.
Where you get vegetable oil from?
From vegetables.
Where you get corn oil from?
From corn.
Where you get baby oil from?
Babies.
Oh, okay. Go Go ahead, bro.
But you gotta squeeze them hard.
Ring them out, huh, boy?
Bring around good, boy. They don't give you much, but they give you a little bit.
Right.
Boy, you crazy.
Go ahead, bro.
Mingled with oil and sprinkled wine and strewed frankincense over everything, and caused a goodly savor to arise, acceptable before the Most High. And Yahweh smelt the goodly savor, and he made a covenant with him that there should not be any more of flood to destroy the earth, that all the days of the earth, seed time.
What kind of time?
Seed time and harvest should never cease.
See, we just read that in Genesis 8:22, didn't we? The same exact thing. There's going to be seed and harvest time. So it crossed over in the ark. He got seeds in his hand to plant for harvesting to get it going again. The ark was loaded up with everything it needed to reconstruct life again. The rest was outside the ark. The Most High going to take care of. Go ahead.
Cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night should not change their order, nor cease forever. And you, increase ye and multiply upon the earth, and become many upon it, and be a blessing upon it. The fear of you and the dread of you I will inspire in everything that is on the earth and in the sea. And behold, I have given unto you all beasts and all winged things, and everything that moves on the earth, and the fish in the waters, and all the things for food, as the green herbs.
What, as the what?
As the green herbs, I have given you all things to eat.
So we get back to again what green herbs we can eat. I'm not saying what it ain't. All I'm saying is that it must be a green herb. That's what we keep saying. If mushroom, you got green herb, mushroom seed, burn, and it's good to go. If you got anything, seaweed or sea moss, if it's green herb, and then it's good to go, because he just said earth and water. So all we need to do is find it coming out of there, y'all. We ain't not once ever said no. But what we're saying, if we're in doubt, we do without. It's not going to kill you. It ain't like when we do unleavened bread, he ain't stopping us from eating bread, is it?
No.
All he doing just stopping us from eating bread with yeast in it.
That's right.
He ain't never said, we still eating bread, it's called unleavened bread. So he don't take nothing from us, y'all. He loves us. He ain't taking nothing from us. Go ahead, bro, what else to say?
Verse 7. But flesh, with the life thereof, with the blood, ye shall not eat, for the life of all flesh is in the blood, lest your blood of your lives be required. At the hand of every man, at the hand of every beast, will I require the blood of man.
So y'all go down, it says the same thing as Genesis 9 when they get in there talking about the blood. And y'all, we're going to skip that. We're going to run right to Jubilees 7, 1 through 10, the very next chapter. Too bad you can't get them up on the
I couldn't pull up Google it fast enough.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want y'all to have to wait on me, so I just pulled the book up.
Was that pretty clear online? Can they see your book like that?
Yeah.
So next when we get back into Jasher, I'll give you a head start, so you'll have it already up.
It's on you, Laz.
Oh, I got you. I read chapter 7. Book of Jubilees, verse 1. In the 7th week, in the first year of it, in this Jubilee, Noah planted vines on the mountain on which the ark had rested, named Lubar, one of the Ararat mountains. And they produced fruit in the 4th year. And he guarded their fruit, and gathered it in that year in the 7th month.
So it said Noah planted vineyard, so he got off the boat planting. Becoming a husband, and he planted on Lubar, one of the mounts of Ararat. Even Genesis tell you the ark landed on the mountains of Ararat. So it ain't telling you which Ararat mountain, it's just telling you one of them. And he just telling you one of the mountains he started planting on. It must have been good for vegetation. It must have been good for growing. So he started planting there. So the scripture ain't changing nothing. There's multiple mounts in Ararat. It don't tell you, just like the ships of Tarshish, you cannot point to what the ship of Tarshish is because it tells you it's a mode of travel vehicle. Tarshish could be a 747. Tarshish could be a Greyhound bus loaded with people. Tarshish could be an ocean liner. But Tarshish is a country in Turkey. So does all our ships come, or the chariots coming from Turkey? Or does it just mean a mode of travel or transportation? Even like those who try to get into that Sirach 40 where it talks about, and they went over to Osiris, where never a man had dwelt before. So you get a lot of people saying, see, that's America. It said Osiris where a man never dwelt before. Y'all know how vast and big the earth is? How you gonna label that just to North America? Do you know man never dwelt in this part of Cambodia or over here where never a man dwelt before? Osiris means a land where no man dwelt before. Did it specifically say North America in that script? Or did it just say the land of Osiris? A land where never a man dwelt before. Now you can make it say anything, but there's places in Africa that ain't nobody touched foot on yet. So when you see these words and you see how they compare it in different parts of the scripture, you know it has more than one meaning. And the meaning, when you start to extrapolate, it comes back down to one simple question. It's a mode of transportation. They airlift the tribe of Dan back with those the chariots that we waiting on? Or did they go back in 747s back to Jerusalem? In Operation Moses and Operation Solomon. Those were, and then when they talk about Isaiah 6, you'll be looking out like doves' eyes, you'll be looking through windows. Is that the chariot in Ezekiel 127? Or is that a 747? If we leave here, it's one or the other, but it's a mode of transportation.
Right.
All I'm saying. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 2. He made wine from it and put it into a vessel.
What'd he do?
Made wine from it and put it into a vessel and kept it until the 5th year, until the 1st day on the new moon of the 1st month. And he celebrated with joy the day of this feast. And he made a burnt sacrifice to the Lord. 1 young ox and 1 ram and 7 sheep, each a year old, and a kid of the goats, that he might make atonement thereby for himself and his sons. Verse 4. He prepared the kid first, and placed some of his blood on the flesh that was on the altar that he had made. And all the fat he laid on the altar where he made the burnt sacrifice, and the ox and the ram and the sheep. And he laid all their flesh on the altar. He placed all their offerings mingled with oil on it. And afterward, he sprinkled wine on the fire which had previously been made on the altar. And he placed incense on the altar and caused a sweet odor to rise up, which was acceptable before the Lord his God.
Yes, sir.
And he rejoiced. And he and his children drank the wine with joy.
What they do? That was that blessed wine they was drinking, wasn't it?
Drank it with joy.
Okay.
It was evening.
What was it?
Evening. And he went into his tent, and being drunken.
And being sober.
Being drunken. He lay down and slept, and was uncovered in his tent as he slept.
Right.
And Ham saw Noah his father naked, and went out and told his 2 brothers, ridiculed his father to his 2 brothers,
right,
who were outside. Shem took his garment and arose, he and Japheth, and they placed the garment on their shoulders, and went backwards and covered the shame of their father, and their faces were backward. Verse 10. Noah awoke from sleep and knew all, abuse, that his younger son had done to him. He cursed him, saying, "Cursed be Canaan, and enslaved servant shall he be to his brother."
So it's some language here. He uncovered within his tent. So violation 1, he drunk, right? He got drunk. So that means you're unprotected when you go in and lay down. You're unprotected when you stagger in the house. It take you 15 minutes to get in the house because you go up 2 steps and you walk back 3. You go up 3 and you come back down to the beginning. Finally, you get to the top and then you have to start back over and go back up. When you go in the house, the burglar's looking across the street. He say, as soon as the light go off, we can take our time and steal everything in the car. And when you come out, it look like that car, and I'm gonna get you sucker when they had the strip the car, you know what I'm talking about, that contest. That's what it's gonna look like, because once you tunnel out, you know, when you keep sitting up, and this just from I heard from people that been drunk. They say, and they had to sit up because the room be spinning. Then they try to lay back down, they have to sit back up. And finally you just say to hell with it and just lay up and just spin into unconsciousness. And you hope that you wake back up. Well, you don't know what's taking place. But notice uncovering or pulling off, and he seen his neck and his brothers went in. Same thing Genesis saying, the problem is, where did Canaan come from? If 8 got off the ark, where Canaan come from? And why is he being cursed? Or is this summing it all up that Canaan may have came from Noah's wife? Because the only law we got is say if a man uncover his father's nakedness, he slept with his wife.
Right.
Reuben went up into my couch. Do not approach your father's brothers to uncover his nakedness. What does the very next word say? She is thine aunt. So a man's nakedness is his woman. You uncover me because we one flesh. You looking at me. Next you'll be after me. That's what Jim Jones did. When LeVar Burton played the dude, he like, man, I want my wife back. He like, look at the little sissy. You wasn't saying nothing when I had you bent over the other night. Everybody in the crowd. Y'all just watch Jim Jones. They have to become, y'all see the same thing happen with the Rockadoochies.
Yep.
A woman gonna get old to them. They gonna want to try something new. What you say? See, what'll happen is you gonna create your own cast and couch in unrighteousness. You finished that?
Yeah, that was it on that.
Okay, Jubilees 8 and 11. And then we're gonna skip down to 19 through 22. And y'all, the reason I let that go, or we allowed that to go down is matching up with Genesis to the left. The law is already there. Noah wasn't given no new set of laws. Noah just took the laws that he had and he applied them. The same laws that he was given from his father all the way back to Adam. Because you got throughout the garden, don't change the law. There's no new laws.
Right.
Now, Brother James just hit me, let me know though, because how did the dove, when you said, how did the dove come back with a leaf? Look, because the earth wasn't completely destroyed, when the waters abated, trees were still there, they start growing again. So he didn't destroy the plants, the trees that were already on the earth, they just came back to life. And that's how the dove was able to get it, but that's on the earth. What we're looking for is the water stuff. And the dove brought it back and he like, oh, this good to go. Then he took the seeds he had and planted a vineyard, but he broke the golden rule. He got high on his own supply. You know you can't do that nowhere in this here. You can't smoke more than you sell. How you need his money to go back to the stores? Now see, dog, I got the hookup. See, we'll go back and yeah, I'm gonna give you a cut off. Wait a minute, I got the bulk of the money. How you gonna give me a cut? That's what happened, y'all, when you don't play by the rules. Where we at? Jubilees 8.
Jubilees 8
and 11.
Verse 11.
Yes, sir.
He called his sons, and they drew close to him, they and their children. And he divided the earth into the lots, which his 3 sons were to take in possession. And they reached out their hands and took the writing out of the arms of Noah, their father.
Go ahead, you're going on to 12. Won't you finish reading that?
There came out of the writings as Shem, Lot, the middle of the
Shem's
earth.
lot.
Shem's Lot, the middle of the earth, that he should take as an inheritance for himself and for his sons for the generation of eternity. From the middle of the mountain range of Rapha, from the mouth of the water from the river of Tina. And his portion goes towards the west through the middle of this river. And it extends until it reaches the waters of the abysses, out of which this river goes out and pours its water into the sea Miat. And this river flows into the Great Sea. Verse 13.
No, you ain't got that. And all that is
And all
towards the
that
north.
Lord,
Your reading a little bit different.
yeah.
Yeah, and it said, all that is towards the north is Japheth, and all that toward the south belong to Shem. So what it's telling you is, Shem got the middle of the earth. When the earth was divided by these three boys that got off the ark, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, Shem got the middle of the earth. That was Jerusalem. It's the navel of planet earth. So you can't mix land prophecy with the three boys of the people prophecy. Abraham, the blessing went through Ishmael, Isaac, and Jacob and his 12 sons. Ishmael is a Hebrew Israelite. Hebrew Ishmaelite. Mm-hmm. Esau is a Hebrew Edomite. And Jacob is a Hebrew Israelite. Now the world, those three land masses, these three boys are moving in and out of those land masses. You can't get the land mixed up with the people prophecy. There's different prophecies. Every time you hear our mother Jerusalem, that's a land prophecy. So when you hear about the people of Jerusalem being in the land, if you get it twisted, then who's over in Jerusalem right now are the children of Israel. You can't have it both ways if you mix the prophecies up. And I'm telling you, Ezekiel 16, it start off, your father was an Amorite and your mother was a Hittite. Is that talking about a land or the people? Or we come from Africans? It's one or the other. It's starting off talking about land prophecy.
Right.
And it's saying technically when Israel set up his kingdom, that land was run by the Canaanites. Your land, the father of this land is an Amorite. The mother is a Hittite. It's called the land of Canaan, and it's still called that to this day.
Yep.
But it's the father of our land. Or you have to accept you an African when you read Ezekiel 16. Or is it two sets of prophecy, land and people? You got to know the difference, y'all, when it's talking land. It's always going to say our mother Jerusalem, and you know it's land prophecy. If it talks about the children of Zion, it's people prophecy. But those three boys will move through those three lands in and out, in and out. When you get into Joshua 62, you'll see that Esau's son, and it runs the same lineage of Genesis 36. And it say, they are the Macedonian and the Greeks. And they took the island from Japheth, the island of Russia, and Serbia, and all of those cold lands, and Alaska. Y'all, when last time y'all seen an Eskimo? Anybody? Huh? Since we was in grade school? But who run Alaska now? America, don't it? Crocodile Dundee. What happened to the original inhabitants, the Aborigines, the dark skin? Now when you think about Australia, you think about Crocodile Dundee, don't you? Hawaii, who you think about? Do you think about Gilligan's Island? Or did Gilligan take that island from somebody? I mean, who all the natives always came when Gilligan was on there? Wasn't them the original inhabitants that came? So now it's called Gilligan's Island. So this is what we're talking about. They conquer these lands just because Edomites are in Russia. They didn't get off the ark in Russia. Or you got to put a white man on the ark. Your work, not mine. Your work, not mine. You got to put a white man on the ark. And you ain't getting no white people on the ark unless they was full of leprosy, and they can't be on the ark that way because they unclean.
Unclean anyway.
Or you can run Naaman the leper, and it says everybody out of his generation will be lepers after that. So you're saying this is where the group of white people came from, but it don't mention Naaman's family no more. So did the curse die with him of leprosy and his offspring? Because anybody got any writings on Naaman and his offspring anymore? Or you got Esau, who was red and hairy, but he's our brother. He came from a black man. You still ain't got no white man on the ark. So Russia was not white. Russia was dark-skinned people that got moved out by the seed of Esau. When you read Joshua 62, you're going to understand it perfectly. And you're going to see the same lineage, the dukes and the team. Who are the dukes and the team is today? When you're watching Trading Places, when it went bankrupt, he said there's always been a Duke on the stock exchange, ain't it? Duke of Earl, Duke of Edinburgh. Ain't them Dukes wearing out Megan, what's her name now, married to the prince? Them Dukes wearing her out. Those are the Dukes. And the T-Mons.
They even talk about Dukes that are coming to America too.
That's what we talking about. The Dukes and the T-Mons. So y'all just want to run that to you so we don't get land and people prophecy mixed up when we in there. Did we finish that? Did we get down to Jubilees 19, 8 and 19? Run that through 22. Who got a question?
I did real quick.
Go ahead, sis.
You said that Shem had the Jerusalem.
Had the middle of the earth.
Middle of the earth.
Right.
So that's Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called the navel.
Okay. What part is it?
Yes.
It's going to get down to it when we get into 19 through 22. It's going to kind of break down. If you continue reading it all, it'll tell you where the other boys go. Let's get that. Where it's at?
19 through 22.
Yeah.
He knew that.
I said hit 18 then.
18?
Yeah.
Okay. Noah rejoiced that this portion came out for Shem and for his sons. And he remembered all that he had spoken with his mouth in prophecy. For he had said, blessed be the Lord God of Shem.
Blessed be the Lord God of who?
Shem.
And we Shemites. So when you hear Edomites say you're anti-Semitic, you like, how am I going to be anti my own nation? I know who I am. Yeah, you Edomite Hebrew Edomite, and he's Hebrew Ishmaelite, but those two are warring over land that don't belong to neither one of them.
Exactly.
The land belonged to us. We got cast out. They didn't. They just occupiers because we left. Right. Go ahead. They squatters. Right. What we got?
And may the Lord dwell in the dwelling of Shem. He knew that the Garden of Eden is the Holy of Holies.
Right.
And the dwelling of the Lord. And Mount Sinai, the center of the desert.
See, Mount Sinai is the center or the navel of the desert. Right? Mount Sinai is that center. Go ahead.
And Mount Zion, which is the center of the navel of the earth.
What is Mount Zion?
The center of the navel of the earth.
So when you hear me saying that, that's where these writings come from. When I was saying, Jerusalem is the navel of the earth, it's supernatural because it's the navel. It's where all of the energy is, just like your navel. Your gut has 70 to 80% of your bacteria and immune system is in where? The gut. Right? So the same thing in Jerusalem, the righteousness and the clearing of everything has to come from the middle of the earth. That's where the supernatural at. That's where people go to Jerusalem the first time, and next thing you know, they got the Jerusalem Syndrome. Everybody who claims they God usually go to Jerusalem and the Jerusalem Syndrome jumped on David Koresh. When you read his story, anybody travel to Jerusalem, then they come back and they say, I'm Jesus. No, you just got hold of the Jerusalem Syndrome. You've been overwhelmed, but no, you're not him. Because you wouldn't have got on a plane, you'd have run across the ocean back here. Where we at?
These three were created as holy places facing each other. And he blessed the God of gods, who had put the word of the Lord into his mouth, and the Lord forever. And he knew that a blessed portion and a blessing had come to Shem and his sons and to their generation forever, which was the whole land of Eden, and the whole land of the Red Sea, and the whole land of the East and India, and on the Red Sea, and the mountains of it, and all the land of Bashan, and all the land of Lebanon, and the islands of Kaphtor, and all the mountains of Sinai and Amana, and the mountain of Ashur in the north, and all the land of Edom, Ashur, and Babel, and Susan, and Maedah, and all the mountains of Ararat, and all the region beyond the sea, which is beyond the mountains of Ashur towards the north. A blessed and spacious land, and all that is in it is very good.
And then you see where it gets into Ham, sister, that you was asking, and it'll get into Jasher and tell you what portions they had on planet Earth. So Ham's son had a lock on Jerusalem. It was given to Canaan. It's still called Canaan to this day. Until you get to Zechariah 14 when it talks about the day of Pentecost, and they say, and then there shall be no more Canaanite in the house of the Lord. That means they're going to be completely removed out, because now we're finna restructure the landmass of planet Earth. But you can't remove a man landmark, because that's what Deuteronomy, I believe it's Leviticus 19 to say, you can't remove a man's landmark. You can't pull his staff up and put yours in there and say, I claim it. Not until the Lord resurfaces the earth, and that's what's going to happen at the second coming, because he's going to wipe the earth out again. Sun and moon going to be wiped out. Sun and moon was not wiped out during the flood, but sun and moon going to be wiped out when the Messiah come back, second coming. That's how we're going to know not to trust the Antichrist. All you have to do is look up in heaven. You see the sun and the moon. He's an imposter if he's saying he's God on earth. That's what the script say. Where we at? Shalom, L9.
Verse 22. Ham received the second portion, beyond the Gihon. What is it? Gihon, towards the south to the right of the garden. And it extends towards the south, and it extends to all the mountains of fire. And it extends towards the west to the sea of Atal. And it extends towards the west until it reaches the sea of Ma'ak, which was that sea into which everything that is not destroyed descends.
So y'all can read the rest of that to get to the other brothers, but for time's sake, y'all, we're going to move right to now Jasher chapter 5, verse 31. Y'all, we're going to move through this. Y'all read that whole Jasher chapter 5, but we're going to get right again, y'all. And what we're doing is, if in doubt, do without. I'm not telling you what a green herb is or what it constitutes, but I know what it says for what's on earth. I'm stuck with what's in the water. That's where I'm stuck at. I'm not telling you it don't exist. What we're saying is we need a consistency. A consistency. We know herbs came was out of the water when the dove came back, like Aria mentioned. And bro saying, so they were planted, but that was still on the earth part. You know, so the waters had to abate off the earth, unless there's some dry ground or there's a seabed that the sea never returned to it. And you got the flat plains of Utah that's above sea level now. All of that they race cars on to test the speed of them, those called the Utah salt mines or lands. That's where they test, what is it called? That's where they test the field. They used to be underwater, y'all. They used to be completely underwater, but guess what? Nothing grows there. Absolutely zero, nothing grows there. It's just flat land, and you can test your speed if you want to. What you doing buying a $2 million Bugatti, and you still got a stop sign? Do it make any sense, y'all? Or just get a Chevy Cavalier and cruise. I'm just saying, what you getting it for? 200 miles an hour on the dashboard ain't gonna do you no good with a stop sign. Is it? Y'all, let's read some more. Let's get right to Jasher chapter 5. Start about 31. Y'all read all in between. But I just want to get to the heart of the matter. Okay, I tell you what, start verse 29. Yes, sir. And then I just want to hit a little bit of 6, because it's going to tell you what happened with the animals that got on the ark, y'all. Them animals knew what they were supposed to do. The ones who didn't obey, they got drowned in the flood. Look, the Lord called everything. If an animal disobey, it get took down too. Ain't that what the Lord say? If a beast go, man, what you got to do to him?
Kill him.
Give him the death penalty, don't you? You can't let that beast taste blood. So how do you have the run-ins with the bulls every year? And I'm talking about these bulls are digging those horns up into people's rear ends. Yeah. When they boost them over the fence, either they done expanded the one part that they got that hole, or they've made another one. Oh. So now you got 2 of them be walking around with. You know, the lieutenant crazy. He say he want to do the running with the bulls, but he say he gonna be running and snatching people down. you know, letting them get into traffic. I'm like, no, boy, you crazy as hell.
Yeah, that sound like
Where we at, y'all?
What you say, chapter 5?
Yeah, verse 29. Yeah, read it on out. And then we're going to jump right into 6. I want to just show where the line has came in, y'all. And we're going to get right, because we're rolling pretty good. I got about a good half hour to get right to the corn and stuff, because I got some good one-liners. Go ahead.
Okay, let's get it. Verse 29. And behold, I will bring the flood of waters upon the earth, and all flesh be destroyed. From under the heavens all that is upon earth shall perish. And thou and thy household shall go and gather 2 couple of all living things, male and female, and shall bring them to the ark, to raise up seed from them upon earth, and gather unto thee all food that is eaten by all the animals, that there may be food for thee and for them.
So now, animals eat wild beasts. Most of them do. You got unclean on us. So do you think that they were slaughtering like a calf and throw it in there for the wild beast to eat? Or is this Isaiah, like say 65:20, where the oxen and they're eating grass and stuff? That because they can't be violent on the ark. You understand what I'm saying? Because then what gets off the ark may be just unclean. Because if they get a hold of clean, they're going to devour it, ain't they? So what are you going to get off the ark with? Nothing. Let's read some more.
Verse 32. And thou shalt choose for thy sons 3 maidens from the daughters of men, and they shall be wives to thy sons.
And that said, thou shall choose 3 apiece for each son?
Choose for thy sons 3 maidens.
Oh, okay. I was just trying to see, was that 8 or was that 18 on the ark? Because we got 8 people populating whole planet Earth. Do you have to have more than one? How many started at the beginning of creation? Was it 2 or 2,200? 2?
Adam was created first.
That's what we're talking about. I'm saying he didn't create 10 Adams.
Right.
Negroes are going to that now. One boy hollered, I got a book that say, I know who Adam's daddy and granddaddy was. You do you? Instead of you saying about it, where is the book? Oh, don't blow smoke up my rear end. Where the book? You heard that or you got the book. Produce the book. You know the question coming.
Right.
Where we at?
Verse 33. And Noah rose up, and he made the ark in the place where God had commanded him. And Noah did as God had ordered him.
So you read on down, y'all see the rest of that, but get right down to the 6th chapter, and we're going to start at verse 3. And y'all read the rest of it, and you see how he assembled the ark. And y'all wonder, and people ask, how did he get all them animals to come to the ark? Those animals were ordered to go to the ark. See, the Most High don't need us for nothing. What you gonna tell her? Come here, all you clean ones, and you unclean ones, come on in. No. They had to get their mind right to be on that ark. Or them lions would have devoured them, wouldn't they?
Right.
Let's read some more.
Yes.
What you got?
I got a question. Sis asks, Shalom, isn't the earth land and sea? The earth is a planet. The earth doesn't mean land only. If the scripture says eat only land, vegetation, then that would be different. But the sea/waters is the earth.
So the bottom line is always saying is just show us where you get the herbs with the seed bearing in the water. We're not saying it don't exist. We're just saying we just ain't got nothing but earth, so we just got to hold fast till we get the information on the seed. We never said it's not there. We just saying we don't have it. But if you got it, reproof and then give us instructions on righteousness. So far, everything we just went over ain't nothing said in the water yet. I'm not saying it ain't. Now we're gonna get to Jonah 2 and 4 and we're gonna see something. And then we're gonna see right there what comes out of the ocean. Go ahead.
Explain to the class why we can eat meat.
Why we can?
Somebody told me as we was going, I was going to describe what they had. They said we can eat meat because we don't have a soul. If they had a soul, they got a spirit, but they don't have a soul. Is that true?
No, that ain't no writings in the Bible, period. Because that eliminates clean and unclean. See, then that means how you gonna stop me from eating the pig? It ain't got a soul, do it? Now look, ham hock surprise is back on the menu. Chitlin hors d'oeuvres is back on the menu. Right, it still has to be that. Even if it's soulless, it still has to be what's on the list. That's all we're saying. So when you hear the vain doctrine, you still got to ask the same question. So are you telling me, then if a pig don't have a soul, he's good to eat too? That's where it's coming down to, because they're altering what the script say. Script ain't never said nothing about it. It ain't got no soul that you can't eat it. You know, because look, before Adam and Eve sinned, did we eat meat? Were we prepared for meat? Yes, we were. You ain't got these molars and bicuspid for tearing through lettuce. What lettuce you eat? What lettuce you eating that rough? You need these back here and these canines right here. Them vampires. You think when you say Leon Spinks look like a vampire, rest his soul. When you saying that because all it's showing is them vampires, you think that's for lettuce and carrots. If you need that for that, that's some hard lettuce, ain't it?
Yeah.
No, salad ain't supposed to crunch and chew like that. You know, that way it's sounding like meat and you just keep on chewing it. The cud is like that, but they throw that back up and re-chew it again. But you're not instructed to throw your food up and chew it again, are we?
No.
That's gonna be a problem, ain't it?
Must be on them shrooms.
No, well, yeah, they gotta be on the shrooms. But they call that, what do them models do that? They eat and throw up.
Yeah, that's
so they don't, what do you call that? Bulimia. No, we wasn't instructed to be bulimians. Where we at? 5, 6?
Yeah,
6. Okay.
Verse 3.
Uh-huh.
And the Lord brought this about on the next day. And animals, beasts, and fowls came in great multitudes and surrounded the ark. And Noah went and seated himself by the door of the ark. And of all flesh that crouched before him, he brought into the ark. And all that stood before him, he left upon earth.
See, the ones that bowed down understood he was Lord of the earth.
Right.
At this point, they bowed down. The ones that keep standing, yeah, I'm gonna have me a few of them Noah shanks. Let me get on that. Yeah, Shem got he muscular right there. I'd eat his chest out. And Japheth, yes sir. Ham, you look no good, you burn up anyway. If they bowed down, they came on the ark. If they stood up, get going. What else you say, bro?
Verse 5. And a lioness came with her 2 whelps, male and female. And the 3 crouched before Noah. And the 2 whelps rose up against the lioness and smote her, and made her flee from her place. And she went away, and they returned to their places, and crouched upon the earth before Noah. And the lioness ran away, and stood in a place of the lions. And Noah saw this, and wondered greatly. And he rose and took the 2 whelps, and brought them into the ark. And Noah brought into the ark from all living creatures that were upon earth, so that there was none left but which Noah brought into the ark. 2 and 2 came to Noah into the ark, but from the clean animals and clean fowls he brought 7 couples, as God had commanded him.
So this the mystery, the whelps run off the mother because the male lion ain't with them. So you ain't got 2 couples. So is there a male and female lion, 2 couples on there, or the 2 whelps that came in and said they're male and female? Does it give the number? Because they run the mother off because she ain't got the father. So they're not a couple getting on the ark. Couples got on the ark. Either 7 pairs or 2 pairs. But they got on the ark male and female. And so that was a 3-pack right there. Let's read some more.
Verse 10. And all the animals and beasts and fowls were still there, and they surrounded the ark at every place. and the rain had not descended till 7 days after. And on that day the Lord caused the whole earth to shake, and the sun darkened, and the foundations of the world raged, and the whole earth was moved violently, and the lightning flashed, and the thunder roared, and all the foundations in the earth were broken up.
The fountains.
Fountains in the earth were broken up, such as was not known to the inhabitants before. And God did this mighty act in order to terrify the sons of men, that there might be no more evil upon earth.
So you see, the Most High give you one last chance. Y'all, we're talking about a merciful God. When you read Psalm 83, you got to read that more than all the nations keeping us from knowing Israel. You got to accept verse 16 of Psalm 83. Why do he rain his storms and terror on the nation? It's so that they will come and acknowledge his power. You're going to be into what? The only time you hear people of other nations call out, Lord God, help us please, is when an F5 coming through there. 5 miles wide and rolling 700-800 miles an hour. What you gonna do with that? What you gonna do with it?
Get down.
But holler, get down. Ain't that what they taught you in school? And get under your desk? Ain't that what they taught you? Bow down. Animals bow down immediately. What else we got?
Verse 12.
Uh-huh.
And still the sons of men would not return from their evil ways. And they increased the anger of the Lord at that time, and did not even direct their hearts to all this. And at the end of 7 days, in the 600th year of the life of Noah, the waters of the flood were upon the earth, and all the fountains of the deep were broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. And the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights.
So what is just saying basically, when the earth, the fountains break up, you have, like when people dig for wells, you're finding water underneath the earth. And they're all over planet earth. So when that start shooting up, it's like a sewer on the streets backing up, but it's shooting straight up. So just picture every sewer on every block in St. Louis, the water's coming up, and then you got torrential downpour coming down. Both ways. Let's read some more.
Verse 15.
So it wasn't just like a thunderstorm. Y'all look, 2 hours of rain, and we got to get FEMA in here. Can you imagine 40 days and 40 nights? 2 hours FEMA coming. Go ahead, where we at?
And Noah and his household, and all the living creatures that were with him, came into the ark on account of the waters of the flood, and the Lord shut him in. And all the sons of men that were left upon the earth became exhausted through evil on account of the rain, for the waters were coming more violently upon the earth, and the animals and beasts were still surrounding the ark. And the sons of men assembled together, about 700,000 men and women, and they came unto Noah to the ark. And they called to Noah, saying, Open for us that we may come to thee in the ark.
So you understand now, the 10 virgins, 5 of them didn't have oil in their lamps, 5 did. Same situation here. Same situation, ain't it? Go ahead, what it say?
And wherefore shall we die? And Noah, with a loud voice, answered them from the ark, saying, Have you not all rebelled against the Lord, and said that he does not exist? And therefore the Lord brought upon you this evil, to destroy and cut you off from the face of the earth. Is not this the thing that I spoke to you of 120 years back? And you would not hearken to the voice of the Lord. And now do you desire to live upon the earth? And they said to Noah, We are ready to return to the Lord.
Look, the last minute is raining. Everybody, see, that's why he won't let you know the day of the Lord, because we'll all turn back on the day of. Phones will be lit up. live streaming. Man, I'm on Kings Highway, man, at the White Castle, man, and the sun that went dark, y'all. I'm live, y'all. I'm live, y'all. I think the Lord is coming back. I'm getting out, throwing this out of my pocket, and I'm throwing this out of my pocket. And man, I know I said I hate you yesterday, but I love you, dog. And I'm going live, y'all. I'm live. Where we at, y'all?
You left out part of it. I'm waiting till a couple of y'all jump on here.
Yeah.
It'd be killing me just looking at the camera, waiting on somebody.
There, boy, look here.
Say what you gonna say and move on.
Where we at, bro?
Verse 22.
I'm gonna finish up 21. And they said to Noah, we are ready to return to the Lord. Only open for us that we may live and not die. And Noah answered them, saying, behold, now that you see the trouble of your souls, you wish to return to the Lord. Why did you not return during these 120 years, which the Lord granted you as the determined period?
As a determined period. I give you 120 years, y'all, to turn back to me. What you talking about, grace, boy?
That's grace.
Go ahead.
But now you come and tell me this, on account of the troubles of your souls. Now also the Lord will not listen to you, neither will he give ear to you on this day, so that you will not now succeed in your wishes. And the sons of men approach in order to break into the ark.
Oh, now they gonna beat the doors down. We're gonna do some strong arm in here. We're gonna do some boat invasion, huh? Go ahead.
To come in on account of the rain, for they could not bear the rain upon them. And the Lord sent all the beasts and the animals that stood round the ark. And the beasts overpowered them and drove them from that place. And every man went his way, and they again scattered themselves upon the face of the earth. And the rain was still descending upon the earth, and it descended 40 days and 40 nights. And the waters prevailed greatly upon the earth. And all flesh that was upon the earth or in the waters died, whether man, animals, beasts, creeping things, or birds of the air. And there only remained Noah and those that were with him in the ark.
So right here it say 40 days and 40 nights it kept raining, and everything that in the waters died too. Now we had a brother come down here, was sent down here to straighten us out, to reproof us and correct us. He said it wasn't 40 days and 40 nights of rain, it was 40 years. We said, how you count? He said, because the fish drowned. Okay, the fish drowned. Oh, okay. Well, we still got a numbers problem, because it says this how long they were on the walk when the waters abated. That say 1 year. You owe me 39 years. He said the same thing about, and see, Moses wasn't up in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. He was up there 40 years, because it said he aged. Okay, let's get this straight. He left Egypt at 40. He came back at 80. They wandered in the wilderness for 40. That's 120, ain't it? And if he was up there 40 years, that adds another 40, don't it? That's 160, ain't it? How old was Moses when he died? 120. I say, you owe me 40 years. I ain't never looked at it like this. And you dressed up in the garb of a Pharisees, and you've been sent by your handlers to go handle them Negroites. You've been sent here for this, and you come with this tomfoolery like this. No, partner. And then he was saying we weren't supposed to eat meat or cheese. Well, he didn't know about Elijah and that grill. And he had chicken on that grill and macaroni and cheese. And when he got that understanding, next thing we know, he was putting chicken in this side and bones was flying out on that side. And when he started talking again, mac and cheese was all up across here and up here. We're like, here, bro, here, now I can get that off of there. His whole doctrine changed that quick. I'm not sure if he told his handlers, but we didn't see him no more. They're like, no, you court Marshal Gomer. We're going to send somebody else. Where we at?
Oh, Jacob say that nigga Whiskers was full of macaroni.
Yeah, they was, Jake. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 27. And the waters prevailed, and they greatly increased upon the earth. And they lifted up the ark, and it was raised from the earth. And the ark floated upon the face of the waters, and it was tossed upon the waters, so that all the living creatures within were turned about like pottage in a cauldron.
What does that mean? That means a big cooking pot, and you stir up the stew that's in it, the pottage, you keep stirring like that, and it spins in a circle like that, just like you stir your coffee. Take the spoon out, it's still doing this. That's what the ark was doing, because it was violent, y'all. It's raining, it's thundering, and it's storming. What else happened, bro?
And great anxiety seized all the living creatures that were in the ark, and the ark was like to be broken.
And y'all, I'm talking about great anxiety. Can y'all imagine dog with anxiety, wolf with anxiety, bear with anxiety on the ark, scared to death? It's spinning like a top, and it's raining, and boom, 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 boom. What else to say?
And all the living creatures that were in the ark were terrified. And the lions roared, and the ox lowed.
Low, yeah.
And the wolves howled. And every living creature in the ark spoke and lamented in its own language.
In its own language. The horse wasn't talking to the dog. Man, this messed up, ain't it, man? Ain't it? You how you feel? Get on my back. I'm gonna ride you to the other end of the ark. No. They spoke in their own language, meaning that everyone was hollering in distress in its own language. Go ahead.
So that their voices reached to a great distance. And Noah and his sons cried and wept in their troubles. They were greatly afraid that they had reached the gates of death.
So I'm gonna hold it, y'all. Y'all read the rest of that, and it's gonna explain how the Lord had to calm things down and get it settled back down. But y'all, this walk, y'all, it ain't no easy walk. Even they're in the safety zone, and it's tremendous. But you got to have faith all the way through, just like Peter walking on the water. He was good when he was walking out there, but then the water got up around the ankles. He said, wait a minute. Oh, it's at the shin region. Oh, it's at the kneecaps. I'm going to drown. I'm going down. What is that? But he just reaches out. Come on, man. Your faith disappeared that quick. You see, because for an instant he thought, I'm walking on water and it ain't frozen. And then that scared him. You got to have faith, y'all. They walked into a fire pit. Shadrach, Meshach, and a bad Negro walked in there. So y'all, if we ain't got that type of faith, we might as well give it up. Because it ain't gonna be that easy, but gold is tried in the fire, ain't it? And you wear it. We can hold that, y'all. I want to just get right through these real quick. So y'all, we covered as much as we can about herbs on the earth. We haven't said anything about herbs out of the sea. We're just asking, we need the ones that's produced from the earth, and do they bear seed? Because a lot of them say they're stalks that break off and they stuff stem from them, or they collect algae. You know, so all we need, all we're asking for, we're not saying nobody is wrong, no way, shape, or form. All we're saying, it's like even when we talk about the lunar Sabbath, we ain't saying you're wrong about the Sabbath, but you don't have anything about the sun. What does the sun do for the lunar Sabbath keepers? What is the sun's responsibility? How does it not throw the moon off and it go 364.5 days, and the moon at max on a good year when it ain't decreasing is 360? What about those 4 days of the sun? How do you account for that for a year? How you squeeze it back into 360? Just tell us how the sun decreased, and we'll understand what you're saying. But if you can't, we have to look at all the stars. They're giving the moon is only to govern the feast day. The sun is for the Sabbath. If you're a lunar cycle keeper, you cannot get the day of Pentecost. You can't get 50 days after Passover. It's impossible. You get 36 days of 54, but you can't land on 50. You can't get 7 complete Sabbaths and 1 day. Straight lunar. Do it. Run it for the last few years. You know, now you may set up a Passover where it manipulated into being, but you can't get it. 7 complete Sabbaths. 1 month, you only gonna get 4, ain't you? Can you get 5 Sabbaths out of a month? Huh? Who said Well, y'all looking at me like none of y'all went to pre-primer. That's what they used to call before you go to kindergarten. Can you get 5 Sabbaths out of a month? Okay, that's all I'm asking y'all. So how do you get complete, 7 complete, and the day of Pentecost gonna fall? You got to have the sun in your keeping. Hold on, y'all. We're gonna get right through these last few, y'all. Anybody got any questions so far, too, by? Because y'all, that's as far as we can go on herbs on the earth, and that's all we're saying. We're not saying that it don't exist in the seed. We just saying we ain't got the writing, so we got to hold off until we get the instructions from them. That ain't judging nobody on a feast day, is it?
No, who y'all says, okay, eating the corn we buy from the stores are good or not?
We finna get into it.
Okay.
Very good. We're on corn now, y'all. Matthew 12, 1 through 8.
What you say?
Matthew 12, 1 through 8. We're gonna get into the law, and y'all, we're gonna get into dietary law, y'all, because we're talking about eating, y'all. There's a law that sanctifies everything. All of our diets in Leviticus 11, Deuteronomy 14. It don't tell us what birds we can eat. It just tell us what?
The ones that we can't.
We can't eat no birds of prey. Y'all look at something out there called the turkey vulture. It's not a turkey. It just looks like a turkey because its beak is red, but it's a vulture. It just call it that because it has a look of a turkey bird. But when you look up turkey gobbler, it's in the line of the pheasant, the quail. That one we can eat. But the turkey vulture is not a turkey. It's just a vulture that looks like a turkey. See, that's why we can't go off of kinds. We have to go off instruction. Clear instruction. Just look up turkey gobbler and turkey vulture and you get your answers. Y'all, and we're not saying anything, oh, they think they are. No, we're not saying we're right. It's we either stick with the law or we don't. And if we can't understand the part, we when in doubt, we do without. I'll just back off of that. It ain't gonna hurt you not to eat no turkey if they was bad till you find out, is it? Right. Nothing until you find out. If you find out it's good, oh, go back on the menu then. If it can't, your soul desires what it can't have. Where we at? Matthew 12, 1 through 8.
Matthew chapter 12, verse 1.
How we looking, y'all? I hear a few pages flipping. No, I'm looking for something else. Go ahead, y'all.
Matthew 12, verse 1.
No, go ahead, Zeb. I'm looking for the next script. Go ahead, I know where I'm at. Go ahead, bro.
At that time, Yahushua went on the Sabbath day through the corn, and his disciples were in hunger.
Where were they?
What?
What was the disciples?
So they were hungry.
Right.
And began to pluck the ears of corn and to eat. But when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, Behold, thy disciples do that which is unlawful, which is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day.
So, is it unlawful to eat corn on the Sabbath day? Is that what they thought?
No.
Or is it talking about something totally different? Go ahead, where we at?
But when the Pharisees, but verse 3. But he said unto them, Have ye not read what David did when he was a hunger, and they that were with him, how he entered into the house of Yahweh and did eat the showbread, which is not lawful for him to eat.
Which is not lawful for what?
For him to eat. Neither for them which were with him, but only for the priests. Or have ye not read in the law how that on the Sabbath days the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless?
Yeah, and they like, what are you talking, Yahweh? You crazy. What you mean the priest blame? Numbers 28, it tells you they had to sacrifice for, you think sinning stopped because it was the Sabbath day and the priests have to stop sacrificing for sin. You think they gave out order, everybody, it's Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, no sinning, because you're going to put us to work. And we can't be in trouble because of y'all want to sin. So everybody stop sinning. The priests couldn't stop working on the Sabbath day, but they're blameless because they had to cover our transgressions. On the Sabbath day, they still working. How do they get escaped by this? How do they get a pass? The script, the Messiah said they got a pass the same way David got a pass. He said the showbread for the priests only. They get the first pick out of that. Now you get the common bread. It would be like Snooks get bread, and when it get close to the expiring date, they take it to Aldi's. That's the common bread now. You got about 3-4 days left on the expiring date. But when it was Snooks, you had 30. But when it gets down to that low date, they put it out to the common bread stores. And you can stack up on, you be like, ain't this about how this green stuff on? Didn't you check the expiring date? Well, it said yesterday it was still good. So y'all understand it from that perspective. Go ahead, you finish up, bro.
Verse 6. But I say unto you, that in this place is one greater than the temple.
Greater than who?
Than the temple. But if ye had known with this meaning, I will have mercy and not sacrifice.
Right.
I would not have condemned the guilty. For the Son of Man is the master, even of the Sabbath day.
What is he?
The master, even of the Sabbath day.
He's the master, even of the Sabbath day. Go ahead.
And when he was departed thence, he went into their synagogue. And behold, there was a man which had his hand withered. And they asked him, saying, is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day? That they might accuse him.
That they might do what?
Accuse him. And he said unto them, what man shall there be among you that shall have one sheep, and it fall into a pit on the Sabbath day? Will ye not lay hold of it and lift it out? How much then is a man better than a sheep?
So we can hold up, but this just telling you that the disciples went through and they plucked corn and ate it when they were hungry. Not only that, they ate it on the Sabbath day. So whose corn were they eating? Is that stealing? Because they threw somebody's field. No, because the Lord tell you when you plant a vineyard, you have to plant outside your fence for strangers and homeless to be able to pluck the corn and eat on their way. That's not stealing. So he says, when you hungry, it supersedes the Sabbath. If you hungry and you say, I ain't ate in 3 or 4 days and the Sabbath is here, I can't go to the store and buy because it's the Sabbath day. He say, and you die? And you die? You let yourself die. Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. That don't mean you can break the Sabbath, but life is more than the day itself because you still got to live for tomorrow. You still have to, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's all Messiah was playing. In Proverbs, I believe it's 20:6, it say, don't despise a thief that do what? Steal to satisfy his soul.
Right.
But it say, if he be found, he got to repay you sevenfold. It don't let him get away, but it's saying he's hungry. If you steal cause you hungry, all you do is get a pass to get back on your feet. But whatever you stole, if you broke up into a restaurant and ate 2 sandwiches, you owe 14 sandwiches when you get on your feet. How you get back in that store and put them back in there, I don't know. But that's what the rules say.
But see, now that's if you steal them, but it's just like you just said, if you have a field of corn, you're supposed to plant extra just for that happenstance. You can come through and get you something to eat, but don't put nothing in your pocket.
You can't put it in your pocket.
Don't put it in your pocket.
And that's what the disciples wasn't doing either. They wasn't putting nothing in their pocket. Ooh, boy, this good to go because you going to do what we did when we was children. I know where Apple Tree at.
Right.
Where at? It's on Mr. Johnson property. Man, Mr. Johnson crazy. He be shooting at people. We going to go at night. He can't see that good. But what you're still stealing though, right? Because you already plotted out, we can go at a time where we can't be caught.
Right.
No, that ain't the deal. If his branches is hanging over his fence, everything that falls off that branch hanging on the fence is good to go. He don't own that land. No more can you kill somebody on your sidewalk. That's not your land.
Right.
Your front porch is your land. Now, if they kicking on your door, but if they hollering, selling wolf tickets from the sidewalk, keep on hollering as long as you don't step right here on Mr. Gilmore's property. Don't come right here and see what'll happen. Keep hollering while you're out there. You can holler all day out there. The police can't arrest you on your porch. What they do is coax you to come off your porch. Like they did Louis Gates. They got him to come out of his house, and on the front step is put your hands behind your back. Obama had to squash that beef. Y'all remember that, don't you? Where we at? We can hold that. Y'all read all that, y'all. But that Proverbs, was that 20 and 6? What's it? Y'all look it up. 6 and 20 it may be. If a thief steals to satisfy his soul. But y'all find, yeah, just look that up. If a thief steals to satisfy his soul, it may be 20 and 6. No, it ain't. It's 6 and 30. Men, do not despise a thief if he steal to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. But if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house. That separates stealing from being hungry. You stealing because you don't want to go to work. Right. Man, shit, you can go on and there, spend 8 hours. I know where I can eat for free. Yo, so we get corn, and let's get to Leviticus 11:32. Y'all, we're gonna run these one-liners. We're gonna close on out. Deuteronomy 14, I want, and then y'all, we're gonna get these horns real quick so we clear up that about the shofar, because the feast days are coming up, y'all, and people are looking to tell you what you can't do on a feast day. You can't be sitting in a feast day and wondering, this is all wrong. This is all wrong, and you still sitting there?
Forget about that work. That shit take
all day, boy. Yeah. How many breaks y'all get?
Right.
See, dog, I get to break when I feel like it around here.
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Huh?
Boy, they want some answers, don't they? Let's get it, y'all. And y'all look, y'all read all of Leviticus 11. Y'all read all that on your own time, because it's the dietary law, and y'all see everything that we're speaking of.
32.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we just want to get right down, start at 11 and... Yeah, you start about 32, and we're going to get right to 37 is the part that we want. 37.
Leviticus chapter 11, verse 32. And upon whatsoever any of them, when they are dead, doeth fall, it shall be unclean, whether it be any vessel of wood, or raiment, or skin, or sack. Whatsoever vessel it be wherein any work is done, it must be put into water, and it shall be unclean until the evening, so it shall be cleansed. And every earthen vessel whereunto any of them falleth, whatsoever is in it shall be unclean, and ye shall break it. Of all meat which may be eaten, that on which such water cometh shall be unclean, and all drink that may be drunk in every such vessel shall be unclean, and everything whereupon any part of their carcass falleth shall be unclean, whether it be oven or ranges or pots, they shall be broken down, for they are unclean, and it shall be unclean unto you.
So basically what it's talking about is animals that die of itself. Like a cow have a heart attack, or get run over by a car, it's road kill. If any of that get on anything that you use, it's no good. You have to destroy it. Anything that die of itself, anything, if your animal die on your carpet, you got to tear all that carpet up. You got to get it out of your house, or it's unclean. You have to understand these things, you know, because it leaves behind contamination. So this is where it's going into, but we want to get down to verse 37. Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 36. Nevertheless, a fountain or pit, wherein there is plenty of water, shall be unclean.
Shall be what?
Shall be clean. But that which toucheth their carcass shall be unclean.
See, and it's talking about the carcass. See, it's saying we can't eat a carcass, and that means it's dead when you got to it. You can't just be riding about, oh, that boy, it's gonna be right tonight, y'all. Look at that dirt on the side of the road. It's freshly hit because it's still seeing smoke coming. Throw it on the hood of the car. No, you can't. No roadkill. Nothing that dieth of itself. Dieth of itself, it died either a heart attack or something killed it within itself. It just dropped dead. I don't care how healthy it looked. I don't care what the shape it was in. If it fell dead, there's something wrong on the inside, ain't it? What else to say? That finished 37? Okay.
And if any part of their carcass shall fall upon any sowing seed which is to be sown, it shall be clean. You want to keep going?
Yeah, just that.
But if any water be put upon the seed, and any part of their carcass shall fall thereon, it shall be unclean unto you.
So y'all seeing the difference? This talking about seeds of sowing. So if a dead carcass, it's two ways that you put seed down. If a dead something fall on it, it ain't no more good. Look, animals die in your crop field. So it's explaining what happens. Do I throw away a whole year of crops because an animal died? Well, it tells you this the way. If rain is there, it just soaked and washed all of that contamination off of that into your food. So when you chewing on some corn and you be like, wait a minute, man, how does this taste to you? Something don't taste right about this. What happened? Well, that old mule died out there, old Becky died the other day, and they left it out there for 2 days, and y'all just pulled them up and brought these crops in here too? So it's telling you the only way you can accept it if death fall on there is like that. It can't be no water. The contamination, death causes contamination. That's why funeral homes have to embalm you, or you have to be buried the same day. Because gas is built up in you, and you could be walking by the casket and that body explode. Now, who gonna let you come to the repast with dead flesh on it? Exploded dead flesh. You still got a little piece on your forehead. Go ahead, and then what happened? No. You're gonna be a little boy like it's the Black Plague on you. So y'all, I just wanted to bring that about the seeds of sowing. Seeds of sowing, we keep seeing, where do you sow those seeds at? What you do with seeds? Where you plant them at? Where?
In the ground.
In the ground.
Yeah.
Is there a ground in the ocean? Huh? What are you saying? The ocean floor. I'm just asking, who planting down there? Lord, okay.
And then they got hydroponics, though. You know, they grow stuff underwater.
Now they do. They'll grow stuff in what they call hydroponics, growing underwater, but is they really growing it underwater? Y'all, if that's the case and somebody can present a case for that, then that's what we talking about, y'all. If hydroponics or whatever it called is legal in these laws, statutes, and judgments, then we'll accept it. But you have to present the case to us. You just can't tell us, and we're going to, because everything it keeps saying sowing seeds, and we know seeds only get sold on earth. Unless you got some scuba divers back then. Deuteronomy 14, y'all. We ain't got but 2 more. Shalom, bro.
Shalom, Mark.
Watch yourself out there, boy. Remember, it's springtime. You talked about eating grass.
You go right past, whoa, run up in there.
Let's get it real quick. Deuteronomy 14, y'all. We're just going to get right to the heart of the matter.
Where you want to start out?
22. And this going to clear up corn as well. Because we asked about corn. The Most High say they ate corn plucked through. Whose job is it to find out what type of corn that is? Because the bottom line is, you got the king of the world there and watching them eating corn. And he didn't say it was at fault, did he? No. Did he say they was at fault? No. When the Pharisees challenged him, did he say, did they bring up stealing? Or did they bring up you shouldn't eat corn, period? They just brought up the Sabbath day and what you can do. So you saying hungry men can't eat on the Sabbath day? And y'all, we'll have people that'll sit in the house, won't cook, and starve the children too. Sit over there and be quiet. I know you ain't ate since last night, but be your mouth quiet. And you done pissed in that pamper again. That's it. You gonna wear that pamper to the Sabbath over. Junior, you go to the store after the Sabbath over and get some Desinex for this boy. Boy, keep on pissing and it's the Sabbath. Or do you change that pamper? What? Okay. Look, you a truck driver. Do you draw water or you stink all night? Will you be allowed in the bedroom? I'm talking about you're a heavy laborer working on concrete out in the sun and you come home and you're sweating in secret places. All up under the arms right here. You got on a work coat and it's got that deodorant stain on it. I mean, it just soaked through. Do you draw water and take a bath? Or do you just get in the bed? Boy. Deuteronomy 14, y'all. Let's jump down to 22, y'all. This is going to handle the corn, y'all. We're going to run these two, and we're going to be out of here. Where we at?
Reading in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14. I'm going to start that reading in verse 22. Let's get some understanding, family. Thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed.
Of thy what?
Of thy seed. That the field bringeth forth year by year.
What it bring? Who's bringing that forth?
The field brings it forth year by year. And thou shalt eat before the Most High thy Elohim, in the place which he shall choose to place his name there. The tithe of thy corn.
The tithe of sweet peas. What you saying?
The tithe of thy corn.
See, so you're tithing corn? Who you tithing it to? The Levites? Who you tithing it to? The homeless, the widows and the fatherless? Who gets the tithe of the corn? Monsanto? What else to say?
Of thy wine and of thine oil and the firstlings of thy herds and of thy flocks, that thou mayest learn to fear the Most High thy power always. And if the way be too long for thee, so that thou art not able to carry it, or if the place be too far from thee.
I can't go out to Whole's Food, too far out and I ain't got no car. The bus line don't run that way. Go ahead. What you saying? What St. Peter's then? Go ahead.
Which the Most High thy Elohim shall choose to set his name there. When the Most High thy power hath blessed thee, then shalt thou turn it into money.
What shall thou turn it into?
Into money. And bind up the money in thine hand, and shalt go unto the place which the Most High thy El shall choose.
Right.
And thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, for oxen, or for sheep, or for wine, or for wine, or for strong drink.
For what kind of drink?
Some strong drink.
Look, that's say you can, that's in the law. Strong drink. So when you're hearing people, you can't drink strong drink. Says who? Says who?
Say don't be drunk.
Right.
What else to say?
Or for whatsoever thy soul desireth, and thou shalt eat there before the Lord thy God, and thou shalt rejoice, thou and thine household.
Y'all can read the rest of that on your own time, but we wanted to see your tithing corn. The Most High was in this law. So how do you tithe corn if it's not legal? Did it say anything about tithing the pig?
No.
And thou shalt tithe the swine?
No.
Thou shalt tithe some hippopotamus legs, and that ain't in there, is it? And thou shalt have a platter of scrimps. No. Look here. Y'all, real quick, y'all. So we did that, and y'all, what we're telling you about what Monsanto do, he takes the seeds of the earth and work on them so you can't reproduce them, so you have to keep coming back to him. All he's doing is locking it down. Yes, it makes you not eat seed that's not fertilized by a male, but it came from a seed. That part we got to pray to the Lord, or we got to start growing gardens, y'all. Or you have to quit eating anything that don't have a seed in it. Who ready for that? That means no fast food there. You can't stop with just that. You got to run it across the board. Real quick, y'all. Last one about the homes. And this was said that we got to have a ram's horn, which is called a shofar, because they're saying, look, that's what it was. Real quick, y'all. So we run that side, and then we just gonna hit Numbers 10, and y'all we're gonna close out. Joshua 6, verse 1, and then we're gonna jump back to Numbers 10, y'all. We're gonna close out. Y'all, we're gonna run. We ain't gonna read all of it. We just have y'all do it. But I just want to get right to the point. And this Joshua is when they knocked down the walls of Jericho. Joshua 6. And we're just gonna start it. Y'all read. Let's start at 6. Y'all 6 and 1. But we're gonna pick it up at verse 4. We're gonna skip. Y'all read the whole thing. Joshua 6. We're gonna start at verse 4.
We'll start at 4 or 1.
No, we're on 6. Y'all read 1 on down, but y'all read the whole 6th chapter, but we're gonna start at verse 4.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
The book of Joshua, chapter 6, and verse 4.
What it say?
And 7 priests shall bear before the ark 7 trumpets of ram's horn.
What kind of horns?
Ram's horn. And the 7th day ye shall compass the city 7 times, and the priest shall blow with the trumpets. And it shall come to pass that when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, and when ye hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people shall shout with a great shout, and the wall of the city shall fall down flat, and the people shall ascend up, every man straight before him.
Now y'all read all of that, and y'all keep seeing the trumpet made out of ram's horn or the shofar. The problem is there's a part 2 with that. It says when you hear it and it wax long, there's an obedience. We got to go 7 days around. When you hear it, then everybody shout. If you shouted on day 6, what gonna happen?
Nothing.
Nothing. It's complete obedience. Obedience more than sacrifice.
Yep.
You do 7 times, and when you hear the priest blow, then everybody shout with the ram's horn. So y'all, that's where a lot of them are getting it from, and they say the ram's horn mean this. But real quick, y'all read the rest of that. Numbers 10. I tell you what, Exodus 19 first. Exodus 19, 14. Then we're gonna hit Numbers 10. Y'all, we're gonna close out, and I'll give y'all the one that back up Numbers 10, and it's Revelation 8 through 8. The whole 8th chapter, because it talks about the 7 trumps, and these are the trumps of archangels, or those ram horns, shofars. Or they what Moses was told and the priest to make after was fashioned in heaven. Was a ram horn fashioned in heaven? That's what we have to understand, y'all. Or does the Lord have his horns that he used? Exodus 19, real quick, y'all, 14. Because we need to know if this was ram horn or was this the silver horn that we're gonna get into. Real quick, Exodus 19, y'all.
The book of Exodus, chapter 19 and verse 14.
Yes, sir.
And Moses went down from the mount unto the people and sanctified the people.
What'd he do?
He sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. And he said unto the people, be ready against the 3rd day. Come not at your wives.
Right.
And it came to pass on the 3rd day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings, and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the whole of the trumpet, and the voice of the trumpet exceeding loud, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled.
So who's blowing these horns right now? The people trembling. I ain't see no people trembling with Joshua blowing that horn because we was aware of it. But this scared the people to death. Not only that, but it said, come not at your wives at the 3rd day. What's the 3rd day of the week? Tuesday?
Tuesday.
So who say about sex, the marriage bed is undefiled? Who say you can't? Did this say the 7th day?
No.
The only way this happens is if it's on a Thursday. And then you 3 days back, that's gonna put you with the Sabbath in there. That's the only reason. If this question had to happen on that day, if the 3rd day fell on the Sabbath. But it says on the 3rd day. We don't know what 3rd day it was. It was the 3rd day out of leaving out of Egypt. If you could pinpoint it to it landing on the Sabbath, that's the only reason. But if you had sex on Thursday or Wednesday, you still in violation, ain't you? It has nothing to do with the Sabbath. It's violation of the 3 days. Sabbath don't last 3 days, do it?
No.
So if you cut out the Sabbath, you still got 2 days you still got to be obedient with, right? So I don't know how you pick and choose or picking and like they say, there it is right there. No, that's like picking boogers. You got to put it somewhere. When y'all buy a used car, check the side of the seat because that's where most people put it when they can't find a napkin. Check the side of the seat, I'm telling you. You laughing because you got some on that big as a cornflake or a Wheatie. Where we at, bro? Did you finish that?
Yeah, what you got?
Okay, real quick, y'all, this last one, Numbers 10th chapter. And y'all read all of that on your own time. We just gonna get right to the point of what these horns are so we can see, and we're gonna see what they did. They called the men out to war. They did exactly the same thing the ram horn did. Start 10 and 1.
Last one, let's walk.
Yeah, we're at Numbers.
10 and 1, yes sir.
Yeah. All right, we're in Numbers chapter 10, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, make thee 2 trumpets of silver.
Of what?
2 trumpets of silver. Of a whole piece shall thou make them, that thou mayest use them for the calling of the assembly, and for the journey of the camp.
So we see what silver horns made for, ain't it? Calling assembly. What else they for?
The journeying of the camp.
Yeah, go ahead, verse 3.
And when they shall blow with them, all the assembly shall assemble themselves to thee at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation.
Right.
And if they blow but with one trumpet, then the princes, which are heads of the thousands of Israel, shall gather themselves unto thee.
So we knew when one horn blew, this only mean for this group to gather. Y'all, everything is order.
Right.
They got nothing with you just getting a chauffeur and you trying to blow it. We had a bro had one dressed all up and he blowing. It sounded like he was dragging furniture across a hardwood floor. We had another Hebrew, an older brother, just give me that horn. And gave it back to him. Y'all know I ain't lying. Y'all know who it is. Go ahead, where we at?
Verse 5.
What it say?
When ye blow an alarm, then the camps that lie on the east part shall go forward.
Right.
When ye blow an alarm the second time, then the camps that lie on the south side shall take their journey.
Now just skip down to verse 10, y'all. We're gonna close out. Y'all read the rest of it. Y'all in between. We out of time. Go ahead.
Verse 10. Also in the day of your gladness and in your solemn days.
What's our solemn days? Feast days, ain't it? Go ahead.
And in the beginnings of your month.
In the beginning of what? Ain't that the beginning of that's talking about feast days, ain't it? Go ahead.
Ye shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings and over the sacrifices of your peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before your God. I am the Lord your God.
So, and then y'all read Revelations 8:1. It's the last day trumpets, and all we asking is that trumpets of silver, the trumpets of heaven, because Moses was instructed how to make these. You ain't got to make no instructions for a ram's horn, do you? That's like picking up a seashell and blow it. We got some champion seashell blowers. They can blow that just like a harmonica. But a ram's horn, the ram is dead. You take his horn, gore it out, and then it's a horn, but it's not fashioned. It's not made like the Ark of the Covenant. It's not instruction, just like the temple say, as a direct replica of what's in heaven. So when you get to Revelation 8 and you're reading all of the last trump, what horns are them? Ram horns or the silver horns? This is what we asking. We ain't saying that the ram's horns ain't there. We just saying we just need the proof. Because right here we see what the silver horns do. So was the ram horn just for certain part of war, or what's the deal right here? Is one inside the camp and one outside the camp? Do we take the ram horn outside the camp, but for our camp inside? But we see war right here. Or does it mean when war just at home? So, and then you got 1 Thessalonians 4:13, and at the last trump, is that ram's horn or is that the horn of the Lord blowing from heaven? Like a tornado warning. Y'all, let's close out. Y'all, any questions or concerns? Two bodies. Y'all, we got the Passover coming up rapidly, y'all. March 27th, that's a Saturday. It's falling on a Sabbath day, so it's a high holy day. Y'all, right now we got a lockdown. We still got a few COVID restrictions, but it's opening up a little bit. We got space for our out-of-town guests. Like I say, we got 60 spots open for out-of-town guests, but that don't mean 60 families. That means a total of 60 people. If first come, first serve, you get people and say, I'm bringing 5 with me, that leave 55 spots left. The next person say, I'm bringing 10 with me, we got 45 slots left. Y'all understand how it's working? But here, y'all, we got to get it in so we know what we gonna buy at the store. We cannot do this on the last day. We cannot get prepped on the last day. We cannot be knocking on the ark when it starts raining. We can't be at the store when the Passover is starting. Can we?
No.
We still got to cook it, don't we?
Exactly.
Yeah, let's close out. I hope the Spirit brought forth some understanding today, y'all. Can we eat corn? Can you tithe corn? Anybody tell you can't eat certain things, you take them to the law. Tell them to show you where in the law it say you can't. Don't care nothing about what Monsanto got a lock on, because you stop eating it, stop eating fast food and everything. Better not catch you in McDonald's line.
You know, you said that the Sabbath, 5 Sabbaths in 1 month.
Yeah, just ask.
The month of May.
The month of May? Where it start at?
So on the 1st, and it goes all the way down to the 29th.
5 Sabbaths in May?
In the month of May.
It ain't 5 weeks though.
Right, it ain't 5 weeks.
Well, it had to be 7 complete. It had to be 7 complete Sabbaths.
Oh, okay.
After the Passover. See, that's the difference. Thank you, bro. I'm glad, cause let me just say this to explain it. It says 7 complete Sabbaths. Look, the Passover is falling on a Saturday. That's not 1. That's 0. The next Saturday is 1 complete Sabbath. And then the next Saturday after that is 2 complete Sabbaths. It's not the day you start on. It says it has to be the start of the next one. If the Passover happened on Wednesday, that first coming Sabbath is still not 1. That's the beginning of 1. But it has to make it to the next one so you can say the start of 2. If the Passover starts on Wednesday, the Sabbath day is still Saturday. You understand what I'm saying? So you can't start counting until you get that day after the Passover. You can't count it or as the Passover. You can't do none of that. You have to start your count after the Passover. 7 complete Sabbaths in 1 day. So, like I say, brothers, that's good because you may see that. But if the feast day fall on the Sabbath, had it been in May, that cuts 1 out. You still at 4.
Right.
Good catch, bro. Great catch. So y'all, I got Passover tickets up here, but we'll discuss that right after, y'all. All y'all out of town, get at me, holler at me. Tuba, put the link up, you know, for my email address and different things so we can get that out. And once you contact us, we'll send you all of the information. We're just not gonna just post it up like that because we have to do it if you're interested in coming. And we ain't saying you have to, if you're able to. But we want to just make sure we don't get in there and get shut down. And you have to go back home. You done traveled 5, 6, 7, 8 hours and you have to go back home. We can't do that to you. I'm done.
You done?
Yeah.
All right, family.
Better come on.
We're going to get this closed in prayer with the Most High's permission. And in the name of His only begotten Son, our Lord and Savior, our uncrowned King, and our Redeemer, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. And we know Him as Jesus the Christ, y'all. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 143rd chapter, it reads, Hear my prayer, O Yahweh. Give ear to my supplications. In thy faithfulness, answer me, and in thy righteousness. And enter not into judgment with thy servants, for in thy sight shall no man living be justified. For the enemy hath persecuted my soul. He hath smitten my life down to the ground. He hath made me to dwell in darkness, as those that have been long dead. Therefore is my spirit overwhelmed within me.
My heart within me is desolate. I remember the days of old. I meditate on all thy works. I muse on the work of thy hands. I stretch forth my hands unto thee. My soul thirsteth after thee as a thirsty land. Selah.
Selah.
Hear me speedily, O Yahweh. My spirit faileth. Hide not thy face from me, lest I be like them that go down into the pit. Cause me to hear the loving kindness in the morning, for in thee do I trust. Cause me to know the way wherein I should walk, for I lift up my soul unto thee. Deliver me, O Yahweh, from mine enemies. I flee unto thee to hide me. Teach me to do thy will, for thou art my Elohim. The Spirit is good. Lead me into the land of uprightness. Quicken me, O Yahweh, for thy name's sake. For thy righteousness' sake, bring my soul out of trouble. And of thy mercy, cut off mine enemies, and destroy all them that afflict my soul. For I am thy servant. Hallelujah! Selah!
Y'all got a shekel or two, we greatly appreciate it. And I want to thank all y'all out there in the Worldwide Assembly for y'all continued support of helping out the ministry, y'all. I greatly appreciate it.
They don't need them folks.